95th. You have roadwork on the exit ramp. Southbound traffic pretty heavy, too, from the Bensonville Bridge down to Ogden. Construction delays in the northwest suburbs on Route 53 either way, and delays on I-80 through Joliet. Then again, eastbound, you're heavy Kedzie to the tri-state. Not bad in northwest Indiana, just some traffic on 8094. Next reports at 4:08, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Lots of sunshine, but cold today. Temperatures hovering around the 30s. Shower spots later tonight, and temperatures will rise noticeably warmer tomorrow. Clouds and sunshine with a high of 68. 37 at O'Hare right now.
That's I can't stand it.
68 tomorrow. It's 38 today, so that's 30-degree difference. Right there, it's 38 right now.
And you know what? Fahrenheit is no good. You have America should use the degree. Celsius.
Coming up in the next half hour on News Radio WBBM, the White House says President Trump considering a proposal that could extend his deadline for threatened action against Iran. More ahead from CBS News.
This is Terry Keshner. Disagreements, accusations, and a lawsuit. The battle over the leadership of the Chicago Housing Authority continues.
A woman has been charged in the 2022 death of her 6-year-old daughter in Kenosha. In business,
a late-day surge on Wall Street on hopes for a diplomatic end to the war in Iran. The Dow today ending 85 points lower, but the Nasdaq up 22. The S&P ahead by 5. I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg.
We've got 37 degrees, partly sunny skies at 4 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump has received a proposal from Iran that could postpone any threatened action against Iran if it fails to agree to a peace deal tonight. CBS's Linda Kenyon reports from the White House.
The proposal conveyed by the Prime Minister of Pakistan states diplomatic efforts for peaceful settlement are, quote, progressing steadily, strongly, and powerfully, with the potential to lead to substantive results in the near future. To allow diplomacy to run its course, I urgently request President Trump to extend the deadline for 2 weeks. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt responded, the president has been made aware of the proposal and a response will come.
The Pope is criticizing President Trump's threats to civilian targets in Iran. CBS's Allison Keyes with more.
Without mentioning the United States, Pope Leo XIV is calling the threat against all the people of Iran unacceptable.
Reject war, especially a war which many people have said is an unjust war.
The pontiff adds that the war on Iran is
only provoking more hatred throughout the world.
Pope Leo is calling on citizens of all the nations involved to tell authorities to work for peace. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
A Georgia runoff election is underway to replace former GOP Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Republican District Attorney Clay Fuller is a former lieutenant colonel in the Air National Guard and has President Trump's support.
I really have heard positive things about President Trump's economic plan, and they just want to see it through.
Democrat Sean Harris is a farmer and retired Army general.
We'll be moving into a whole new thing of saying somebody's going to represent all the people here in Northwest Georgia.
Harris performed slightly better than Fuller in a special election on March 10th, but neither secured a majority of the vote, forcing today's runoff. Now that the Artemis II crew has completed the journey around the far side of the moon, they have 3 days until their arrival on Earth. CBS senior space consultant Bill Harwood.
They're going to brief the scientists later, talking about the observations they've made. They're going to start packing up that capsule, because if you've seen all the video of the crew inside, it's fairly cramped. And then for re-entry day, which is Friday, they're going to hit the atmosphere at 25,000 miles per hour.
A source tells CBS News that in New York tomorrow, Rex Heuermann is expected to plead guilty in the Gilgo Beach murder case. Meantime, the son of one of the victims has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the accused serial killer and his family. John Ray is the attorney for the family of Valerie Mack.
We claim in the suit that Rex Heuermann tortured, slaughtered, murdered Valerie Mack, and there's a wrongful death suit for that.
The U.S. urges citizens to reconsider traveling to Saudi Arabia for the Hajj pilgrimage scheduled for later this month. This is CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
It might take time to think. They might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 105.9 and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
It is 4:03, Tuesday, the 7th day of April now. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lisa Fielding. We have partly sunny skies, 37 degrees right now. Cold today into tonight, but rising temperatures for a pretty nice day tomorrow. The AccuWeather forecast coming up at 4:15. But first at 4, the battle heating up over the future leadership of the city's housing authority. WBBM's Terry Keshner tells us it follows continuing disagreements at City Hall and among Chicago residents.
The Chicago Housing Authority Board recently voted to confirm Keith Pettigrew as its new CEO. But Mayor Brandon Johnson's choice was former Alderman Walter Burnett, and he is unhappy with the CHA board's process.
My focus is making sure that the residents of the city of Chicago have a chance to weigh in on a process that will determine who the next leader of CHA would be. We've seen when residents and leadership are not on the same page. Why would anybody push an effort that would drive residents out from the process? There's some serious concerns there.
CHA board members said in a statement last week that the vote for Pettigrew was transparent and not just the doing of Matthew Brewer, the operational chairman of the CHA board, whom the mayor has fired. A group of community activists, including the Chicago Housing Initiative, plans to sue the CHA over the appointment process. Terry Keshner, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
In Gary, a man has been charged with 4 murders that happened nearly 25 years ago. Now, the Lake County Prosecutor's Office says more murders may be linked to him.
Edward Russell Jr. is alleged to have stabbed 4 people to death in February of 2002. Mary Ann Rencher was alleged to have been murdered during a domestic situation in her home on the 800 block of Kentucky Street. 3 days later, the bodies of Leonard Johnson, Barbara Hall, and Curtis Hall were discovered at another home on the 800 block of Virginia Street that's near the first scene. Authorities believe they were probably murdered first. There had also been a robbery at that home. Coins were among items believed to have been taken, according to the probable cause affidavit, and they were allegedly later seen in Russell's possession. Also, investigators say a ring believed to have been Russell's was found at the first scene in a pool of blood. The Lake County Prosecutor's Office says we believe there could be more victims. Mike Krauser, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
In Kenosha, a mother has been charged in the death of her 6-year-old daughter. The county sheriff's office says Layla Stahl was found dead in her bedroom in April of 2022. At the time, the cause and manner of death were undetermined. Earlier this year, they looked at her daughter's death again after her mother, Christina Torchia, pled guilty to a separate homicide. Now, investigators have charged her with first-degree intentional homicide after noting inconsistencies and witness statements. Well, the Board of Elections officially certified the Chicago March primary results today, and the data shows some interesting trends. There were 424,000 ballots cast, with citywide turnout around 27%. 94% of those ballots came from voters in the Democratic Party. Just under 50% of voters made their decisions on Election Day. A major manufacturer with Illinois roots has agreed to pay up in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit.
Deere and Company, or John Deere, will fork over close to $100 million as part of a 2022 lawsuit that accused the Moline-based manufacturer of monopolizing repair services. The suit accused Deere of withholding software needed for farm equipment repairs, even working with authorized dealers to force customers to have work done through them. Officials with Deere have insisted no wrongdoing, but say the settlement allows them to, quote, move forward. As a result, they'll put $99 million into a fund designated for those who paid Deere dealerships for repairs dating back to early 2018. Andy Day, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
Applications are open for Chicago Public Schools free preschool programs for the next school year.
CPS is accepting applications for its full-day program serving 4-year-olds and a limited number of half-day programs for 3-year-olds at 372 elementary schools across the district. The programs are free and are part of the district's goal to improve both educational and social outcomes for all children, particularly those with the greatest needs. Next week, the district will be hosting various open houses and community-focused activities to provide families with an opportunity to learn more about early childhood programs and offerings. Carolina Garibay, News Radio 1059 WBBM.
News 408, traffic and weather together on the 8, sponsored by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, Sewer, and Electric. And here is Neil Fiorito.
All right, Lisa, unfortunately, we have a bad day on the Stevenson outbound traffic inching along from State Street to before Damon Avenue. You have a crash and a resulting vehicle fire. 3 left lanes are blocked. Just that right lane is getting by. We heard from Bruce on the WBBM Mercedes-Benz and South Bend Estates traffic tip line at 855-780 Road. Again, outbound Stevenson before Damon. Crash and resulting vehicle fire. 3 left lanes are blocked. that right lane is getting by. Either use Archer or maybe even Ogden to get your way out of downtown to avoid the outbound side of the Stevenson. An hour 10 now to get out to 355. If you're heading out to Cicero Avenue, 45 just to get to that exit. You're 48 minutes in. A lot to see as you make your way inbound through the area on the Stevenson. The other trouble spot we have is on DuSable Lakeshore Drive, but it just cleared. That's a crash northbound at Soldier Field. It looks like the lanes are back open there. A couple of issues now on the tollways. Tri-State on the brakes northbound. Pretty solid, actually, from the Bensonville Bridge to past Irving Park Road. Looks like we have a new accident there blocking a lane of traffic. I-88, the Ronald Reagan Tollway, busy on the westbound trip. Route 59 to before Farnsworth. That's a vehicle that hit the wall. Looks like a lane blocked with that. On Route 53 in the northwest suburbs, your ongoing construction delays thanks to work at Kirchhoff in the right lane in both directions. Southwest suburbs traffic on I-80 westbound passing 30 to Larkin. Eastbound heavy between Center and Richards and Kedzie to the Tri-State. Northwest Indiana some traffic on both sides of 80-94. Westbound between 65 and Kennedy, and eastbound you're heavy between Kennedy Avenue and Broadway. From the Metro Traffic Center, your next report's at 4:18. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
The rest of today, we've got sunshine and clouds, highs in the 30s. Tonight, temperatures on the rise, though. Setting up for a beautiful day tomorrow. Much warmer, clouds and sun, a high near 70. 37 at O'Hare now, 44 in Aurora, 33 in Waukegan. Stocks finish the day mixed. It's 4:10.
Hi, I'm Jack Arnold from Arnold.
What's up, everybody? It's 4:11 p.m. I believe it's April 7th, 2024. It's SubX.News on the spot reporting. We're live in Streeterville. That's where we're at. Moving around. I just need to say this before I forget it. Think about what you just heard on the news about the CHA fight. And think about who we're fighting now, the oppressors. Think about it. They used to be the guys. I work with Brandon Johnson and the teachers union. Everybody knows I worked for them for about 11 years, right? And I know Brandon Johnson. I was in the office before Brandon Johnson was even hired. He wasn't around ever in the beginning. No, he wasn't. He wasn't part of the strike. He wasn't part of taking over the union. He was not part of anything. Neither was Stacy. That's a fact. That's a fact. Those guys are picked by Jackson Potter as puppets. That's all they are. They never organize shit. But think about what you just heard about the CHA. Just think about what we have to do is start listening to the news. And I'm a teacher and I repeat myself. I'm not talking down to anybody. If you think I am, then too bad. Turn off the channel. Go find something else to do. See you later. I don't care if you don't like the way I talk. That's your problem, not my problem. Got that? I'm not going to adjust what I do for you. This is my show, not your show. You can have your own show. You turn on your own Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, whatever. There's plenty of things out there. There's even Tumblr still. You still got Tumblr. You still got Flickr. You got Twitch. There's all kinds. You can go do whatever you want. You can turn your thing on live and you can talk to whoever you want. Okay? That's what I want to say there. Oh, man, see that guy went through the red light right there. You see that guy, right? Do not enter Lakeshore Drive. Didn't it just say that? Don't enter Lakeshore Drive. That guy just did, didn't he? That's what causes the accidents right there. You just seen it, right? That's a highway and that guy enters it, right? You just seen it. Didn't you just see it? You just seen the guy entering the highway, right? So here, let's get back to the CHA. So what they're saying is the CHA board cannot appoint its president. And Brandon Johnson fired the president or CFO or whatever. He fired the dude, right? And while he fired the guy, before the guy's last days, he appointed the next guy. Smart, right? He had convened the board. He says, whatever, I'm fired. Who cares? I still got power. So he convened the board and appointed a new president of the CHA. This is a great story. Because Brandon Johnson says he's an organizer. What did he say what did he just say on the video? On the what he was talking? We need to listen to the people. The people. Didn't he just say that? First of all, he ain't the people. He's the fucking mayor. First of all, he's the fucking mayor. He's not the fucking people. He keeps forgetting who the fuck he is. Yeah, I'm gonna use swear words today. Because I'm tired of this shit. That motherfucker is a motherfucker. Alright? You got that? He's a piece of shit. He says for the people. That's why I'm using swear words. You're going to hear why. He says for the people. So he fires a guy, and the guy in the middle of being fired says, you know what, we're going to appoint this guy, right? So I think he's a good guy. And they went through the process, whatever they went through. Yeah? You got to go through the process when you're on those boards. You can't cheat, because then the state gets involved. The Attorney General gets involved. Open Meetings Act and all kinds of stuff, right? Boards are regulated by the state, and you have to do certain things a certain way. So if they appointed somebody, then it must be legit. But the whole story is about this. That Brandon Johnson says the people, right? And he ain't the people no more. He's fighting to appoint who? A crony. Burnett. The fucker who he appointed his fucking kid as alderman. The fucking alderman who was corrupt. Who now he wants to appoint to be CHA shit. That's the fucking shit. That's Brandon Johnson. The people. Who wants to appoint Walter Burnett, a corrupt piece of shit, who was an alderman for how many years, who when he left, he appointed his kid to take over his spot, and now Brandon Johnson says, we're not listening to people because I want to appoint Walter Burnett to the CHA because I appointed his son to his alderman seat. That's the motherfucker that's talking on the TV. Yeah, I'm gonna say that shit. You don't like my swearing? I don't give a fuck no more. You can get lost. If you don't like swearing, too bad. Bye. I'm sorry about that. That's how I feel today. Too many things are going bad. Too many young people are dying. 18-year-olds are dying, and nobody's doing nothing. Nothing. Zero. No one is doing anything, and there's kids dying every single day. And then the mayor gets on the fucking radio and says, the people... You're not letting me appoint a crony, corrupt alderman to the position. And he says it on the radio, and no news channel even calls him out on that. The news didn't even call him out. That Walter Burnett's son was appointed behind him as an alderman. It's a corrupt crony operation. What is that? He was corrupt alderman inside of his ward. Go look at his ward. He was part of the Fulton Market over there. That crap over there. He made tons of money off of that stuff. Yeah, the redevelopment of Fulton Market. It's okay. It's not that bad over there. He did a good job, but he pushed a lot of work out of there, right? Those were a lot of warehouses over there. You can say it's good or bad, but that's what we just heard on the radio today. You're not listening to the people because you're not letting me appoint a crony. I think, and I'm not going to hold people's past against him. I think Burnett also has a robbery conviction. He was convicted of armed robbery when he was young. Whatever. That don't matter. If he remediated himself, that's fine. Whatever. Everybody's got a past. But that's the argument here. That's the first story you heard today on SubX.News. That the mayor is complaining that he can't appoint a crony to the CHA. And here's the bigger part of this story that really has to be listened to carefully. A fake group is now filing a lawsuit about it. Imagine a lawsuit by a community organization saying, we want Walter Burnett to be the CHA head. The guy whose son was appointed to his seat. And these are the guys who do the No Kings rallies. Who does the No Kings stuff? Who does No Kings? Them. Brandon Johnson was just at the No Kings rally, yelling, no king, no king, no king, right? But yet he's saying, you're not letting me appoint the guy that I want because his son now has his position as an alderman and I want him to be in the CHA so they can do more land redevelopment and kick more blacks and Mexicans out of the city. That's what you got. We showed you multiple CHA properties the last, year? We showed you Alba. We showed you the Loomis homes, right? Then we showed you those homes. Loomis, Alba. We showed you, where else did we show you? We showed you over there by the Oakley Apartments right there on Western. Boarded up. There's a ton of, we showed you, what is it? Is it Lathrop up there? That's a lake, or What is that ones over there on Diversity I keep showing you guys? Is that Lathrop or which one is those? Up there? I showed you the land down there by Cicero. All the CHA land is empty. It's empty and no blacks are being allowed to live there. They're kicking out blacks out of the city. Why? For gentrification. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. And in the middle of that, they use crime and death and drugs to push people out. That's why Damien died, right? That's why Tyrese died, right? That's why Sheridan died. 3 18-year-olds have been dead in the last 3 weeks. 3 18-year-olds. All while the mayor says crime is down when it's skyrocketing 250%. That's the data that just came out today. That data that I just posted came out today from the Chicago Police Department's own data. 250% increase in murders in 1 week. 1 week. The statistics say that murders increased 250%. 1 week. Not a year, not a month, not 10 years. 1 week. That's unconscionable. Anyone who does statistics, anybody who does math, anybody who does science, if you just do a little bit of statistics, punch it in Google. Is it normal that something goes up 250%? It's not normal. Either they were lying before that crime was down or something else is going on. And I don't think it's something else. I think it was they were lying. They were covering it up. So we have two things going on. We have a guy that's lying about crime and young people are dying every day on our streets. And secondly, he's complaining that he can't appoint his crony to the CHA, which is what? In charge of billions of dollars in thousands of what? Housing units. Housing units. Why do you think he's mad about that? Because he wants to convert those to private land. I already talked to a bunch of people over at the Alba homes. They told me that those lands are being converted to UIC land. I just don't have the time as a one person do all this research. Go start looking into CHA land and see if it's being converted. You know, the old guard. And don't take offense. Most older people in Chicago, whether they're Hispanic, white, or black, you know what they do? They just hold on to stuff because that's what they learn. I'm kind of that way. I'm 60. I'm not that of a hoarder. I hold on to stuff. I have old parts. I have old machinery. I have my old books when I did my studies in university. I haven't been to school in 20 years and I still got my old university books, right? So my generation is kind of like that, right? So the old CHA guard probably is holding on to all these properties and all these apartments saying, you know what? We don't want to sell these, and Brandon is hooked up with the developers. Brandon is hooked up with them. He's hooked up with Sterling Bay and CBRE. He's directly connected to them. I already written articles about that. Those articles are old. Those articles are almost 10 years old now. The union is directly connected to development in Chicago. It's a gentrifier. The CTU is a gentrifying agency. It removes people out of neighborhoods through either school policies and crime or through what? Through land development, right? You just heard there's 55 or whatever, how many lots for sale for $1? Do you think poor people are going to buy those, or you think developers are going to buy those? Do you think they put a restriction on buying those lots? The city land bank? You think they said a developer can't buy those lots? Or do you think they're letting anybody buy them and then they put $1 million house there, right? You know, President Trump, he did an executive order that says you can't buy more than 10 properties anymore at a time. President Trump signed an executive order. I don't know if it was 10 or 5, about a month or two ago. So that might be a lawsuit that they're doing now, selling all this land to people. The point I'm trying to make here is this. We have corruption happening in front of us. It's not hidden in the back room. It's not laughing at us. They laugh at us. Brandon and them laugh at us. Trust me, I've been in those offices and I know what they do talk about people. But we have the corruption that's happening in front of us while our children, our teenagers, our future of our city is being decimated by crime and murder and drugs. And no one is doing anything about it. We have lawsuits to appoint, we have community groups, we call them AstroTurf groups, that are doing lawsuits to appoint Walter Burnett. That's how far down the scale of corruption we become. That's unconscionable to even think about that 20 years ago. 20 years ago, when I was doing activism on the street, when I was organizing people against violence, my organizing started for violence, for youth protection and violence. These crime interventionists today, and I'm going to say this too, they're assholes. Crime chasers, I'm going to tell you this, Justin, if you're listening to me. I don't know how you're videotaping crime scenes and you say you're an interventionist. And then all of a sudden you know the people's names that are dead. Yeah, I don't think that's appropriate, my brother. That ain't right. I don't know what you're doing there, man. You're on crime scenes before anybody else is. And then you know the names of the victims. And you're videotaping and then you say you're an interventionist. Yeah, that's like the arsonist burning a house and then being there, right? And calling the cops. Yeah, and I don't think that's right. I'm going to put that out there right now. And I've been biting my lip on that one for a couple of weeks now. Yeah, I don't think that's appropriate. You're out there saying you're a crime interventionist. You're stopping crime, and yet you're in the middle of the crime. You're videotaping, and then you tell people to send you money while you're videotaping, and then you say you're a crime interventionist. Yeah, you need to pick one or the other, my brother. You can't be videotaping crime scenes while you're saying you're stopping crime. That's an arsonist who turns on a. That's an arsonist who calls the fire department after he lights the house on fire. What is that? I have no connection to cops. I don't try to stop crime. I once in a while I'll call the police because people complain about me. I've just got a whole bunch of emails or the message, oh, you need to call 311 about the potholes. Fuck that. Fuck you and the potholes. You fucking break your car. You fucking call 311. Fuck you. You want a fucking pothole in your neighborhood? That's what you fucking get. You know, if I got shit in my neighborhood, I take care of it. In my neighborhood, where I live, I take care of my neighborhood. When I have graffiti on my fucking wall, I call it that night, instantly, and I tell them, get that shit off my fucking garage. Fix that gang-banging sign that they bent. You need to do it tonight. I call and I get it done. You want to have a fucking pothole in your fucking neighborhood? That's what you fucking deserve. I'm going to say it right now. If you don't like what I say, I don't care. I don't care no more. I'm tired of this bullshit. I see this shit every damn day. I see kids dying. I see robberies. I see crime. And then I see a community group that's suing to what? Appoint a crony Walter Burnett. And then I get messages that, hey, oh yeah, call 311 for the pothole on the west side. Fuck them. Fuck those people. They deserve the fucking pothole. They deserve that shit. Why? Because they're not doing nothing to stop it. How about that? How about that? What is there to say? There is nothing else to say. If you want to live that way, why should anybody else do anything about it? I'm going to be my reporting. I'm going to videotape it. I'm going to document it. I'm going to write what I need to say about the corruption of the city. But in the end, that's the people who live their fault. They like to live that way. You like to live with potholes, crime, and drug addicts? What did I show yesterday? Zombies on the street. Drug addicts. And then you seen a lady that's making $100,000 go into her car and walk past the drug addict. You seen it yesterday. That was a black lady. That wasn't a white lady. That wasn't a liberal. That wasn't a Hispanic. That was a black woman who passed 3 drug addicts on Madison and Kildare and just walked past them. And then when I videotape it, they say it's my fault that I didn't call on the drug addicts. Yet the employee there that's making $100,000 a year walks past them and lets them be there doing drugs right on the corner of her building, sitting on the building. They were on their property. She didn't say anything. Did you see the video yesterday? Look at the video from yesterday. Look at the video from Madison and Kildare. The employee, which is a black woman, walked past 3 drug addicts on her property. She didn't say anything to them. She didn't say anything. She didn't say get off. She didn't say leave. She didn't say do you need some help. She didn't say, "What do you need? Can I help you?" She walked from the building into her car and left. She's a thief. She's the criminal. That's the criminal in our city. There's hundreds of thousands of those people in our city. I'm going to say it right now. There's hundreds of thousands of those people. That's why we have this problem in our city. Because people allow the crime. People allow the drugs. People allow the potholes. I called the police. Remember when I called the police and those kids were abandoned in the heat last summer? Nothing happened. 4 police officers didn't do anything about it. Nothing. It's 4:30. Let's listen to the news. Yeah, it's one of those days. It's one of them days.
Vehicle hit the wall, at least a lane blocked because of it. From the Metro Traffic Center, your next report's at 4:38. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
37 degrees now at 4:29.
One night, one goal, stop suicide. Register today for AFSP's 31st overnight walk in Chicago on June 13th as we walk 16 miles from dusk until dawn to stop suicide. Start your journey today at theovernight.org.
It's tax refund season, and Bob's is bringing the wow back. Get wow-worthy prices on best-selling pieces like my Blade A sectional with pop-up sleeper for just $7.99. Wow! I've even got flexible financing options on feature-packed bedrooms and Consumer Reports recommended mattresses. Whoa! And with tons of styles ready to ship and old furniture removal, you can get your new furniture fast and easy. Wow! So don't forget, your tax refund goes further at Bob's Discount Furniture. Oh my God!
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 105.9 and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
It's 4:30. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lisa Fielding. Here are the top stories on News Radio WBBM. The White House says President Trump is considering a proposal that could extend his deadline for threatened action against Iran. The Trump administration officially launches a fraud division, and housing advocates say they plan to sue the CHA over its appointment of a new CEO.
This is Mike Krauser. Early voting is underway in Indiana.
And in business,
I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg. A final hour surge on Wall Street on hopes for talks to end the war. The Dow ending 85 points lower, but the Nasdaq...
Listen to the lawsuit they're going to talk about now. They're suing to have Walter Burnett, the BCHA chief.
Trump is considering Pakistan's plan that could extend the deadline for threatened action against Iran. It also calls for a 2-week ceasefire. However, there's still concerns in Iran, and its citizens prepare for the U.S. and Israel to start bombing power plants and bridges if at 7 p.m. Central deadline is not met. CBS's Natalie Brand has the latest.
Images out of Iran show people forming a human chain near power plants and bridges ahead of President Trump's Tuesday night deadline. In a new escalation of threats, Trump warned on social media that a whole civilization will die tonight, adding that he doesn't want that to happen, but it probably will. Vice President J.D. Vance, speaking from his trip to Hungary, said he hopes Iran makes the right decision and that there will be a lot of negotiation between now and the deadline.
Iran's envoy says Tehran will take immediate and proportionate action if President Trump follows through on any attack threats. Closer to home, Illinois Democrats say the president should be removed for office for his threats against Iran. Senator Dick Durbin challenged his colleagues to act asking, when will congressional Republicans stand up to President Trump's risky war of choice? Senator Tammy Duckworth echoed his concerns and called for Congress to return to Capitol Hill to rein in this dangerous behavior immediately. And in a social media post, the governor wrote, quote, "This is not foreign policy. It's a deranged madman threatening to wipe out an entire country." Stay with us for updates as we approach the president's deadline of 7 p.m. tonight, Chicago time. Well, the Trump administration has officially launched a new Department of Justice unit.
The nation now has a National Fraud Enforcement Division meant to zealously investigate and prosecute those who rip off the American people. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche says,
fraudsters, scammers, tax cheats, or anyone who lies to get rich off the generosity of the American people should be on notice.
He says the Trump administration will spare no resources in giving prosecutors the tools they need to do justice. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
4:33 here at home. Housing advocates say they plan to sue the Chicago Housing Authority over its appointment of a new CEO, Keith Pettigrew. They argue the board failed to properly notify the public before voting on his hiring last month. Mayor Johnson agrees his preference for the job is former Alderman Walter Burnett. The lawsuit expected to be filed later this week. week comes after the CHA went 16 months without a permanent leader. CHA board chair Matthew Brewer has defended the process, saying the board complied with all applicable laws. Authorities in Batavia are recommending some changes along a busy stretch of road. This is after a pair of deadly crashes earlier this year.
Fatal accidents were reported February 24th at Randall Road and Mill Street, as well as March 25th at Randall and McKee. It prompted Batavia police to launch a review of crash, enforcement, traffic signal, and other data in hopes of pumping the brakes on collisions in the area, which the report found has seen nearly 800 of since 2019. Drivers failing to yield the right-of-way, speeding, or being distracted behind the wheel were listed as the most common causes for Randall Road accidents. The report recommends increased police enforcement in an area already responsible for over 30% of the city's traffic stops this year. It also calls for changes to traffic signals, which were made in 2020, but have led to minimal safety improvements. Andy Day, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Well, today is the first day of early voting for the May 5th primary elections in Indiana.
Julia Vaughn, the executive director of Common Cause Indiana, urges people to check to be sure their registration is up to date.
Sometimes weird things happen as counties are doing routine voter list maintenance.
It takes a minute to be sure your status is active. Go to indianavoters.com. Registration for the May primary is now closed, but there are options if, as Vaughn said, weird things happen. The Secretary of State, Diego Morales, spoke to CBS 4 Indianapolis.
I want to be clear. I want every eligible Hoosier to have that opportunity to vote.
Those who want to vote early during the first 2 weeks will have to go to their county clerk's office. After that, larger counties will have other options. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
In the South, Georgians are at the polls today in what is a closely watched election there.
Voters in Northwest Georgia are deciding today who will replace former Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm a 45, 47 and onward guy. What he says to vote for, that's who we're going to vote for.
This is even, to me, more important now than ever, is to see what the person, the candidate, has to say as opposed to what party he's representing.
The 14th Congressional District is ranked as Georgia's most Republican-leaning. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Coming up in a minute, low gas prices, traffic, and weather together. It's 4:36.
Choose Pella for premium quality window and door replacement.
So again, what did we just hear? They're going to sue to get Walter Burnett appointed, a crony. And what do we have? Continuation of corruption. It's not only in Illinois, it's in Indiana. What did the lady in Indiana say? Oh, it's weird. Something weird might happen and you might be removed from the voter roll. So imagine a state that says, we take care of voting people. And the liberals, like Brandon Johnson just said what? Oh, they didn't give us notice, so we're going to sue them because I want to appoint Walter Burnett. But yet, in the next state, the person says the opposite. They're removing people as voters without notice. And then she says, what'd she say? Oh, something weird might happen. You just heard it on the radio. I'm not making these things up. You just heard it on WBBM. It's what, 4:37 p.m. You just heard it, right?
Plus,
you heard those two stories back to back. Something weird might happen. You might be removed as a voter without us giving you notice. There we go. There's an overdose right there.
Now,
go check it out. Overdose, right?
News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Sponsored by
Overdose,
PackyWebFord.com and the Packy Ford True Price Pledge.
SubX.News.
Your assurance that the low price you see online and in the stores is the low price you'll pay.
That's the first thing we got, overdosing, right? Because they lie about it, right? Let's get on the Citizen and see what Citizen says, right?
James has gas for $4.17. If you
SubX.News red line, right?
Gas price, give us a call. 312-409-4277.
Oh, that's a white dude there, right? Maybe he's a white drug addict. We don't know.
To get out toward Midway today, the Stevenson at a stale space southbound from DeSalvo Lakeshore Drive to be.
SubX.News here. It's looks like there's some kind of a medical emergency at 4:38 p.m. April 7, 2026 at the State Street Red Line stop at Roosevelt. Medical emergency here. Right. At State Street, Roosevelt. That's where we're at there. Looks like there's some guy in the stretcher there. You see that over there? That's what we see over there. SubX.News. I don't know what's going on, what happened to him. Maybe he fell down, maybe he was robbed. Maybe we'll put on the radio call and we'll listen. Maybe he was pushed down. Maybe he's doing drugs. This is a known drug spot. Maybe he's doing drugs. I don't know. Maybe he just fell out. Yesterday we seen a white lady drunk. So yesterday we seen a white lady drunk. Oh, battery victim.
Male black, 30 to 35 years of age, with black twists in his hair and dark complected. He was last seen wearing a black coat and black pants.
So that's a victim of a battery. They just said it on the radio. We'll get it on the radio call. So he was beat up by a black person. There you go. Right there. Robbery victim, battery victim. You just heard it. I put on the radio and you just heard it, right? Battery victim.
Medical district. Yep, that is 09027.
3864. 786. We got a description of that offender, the battery as a local.
Yep, it's a male black, 30 to 35 years of age, with black twists in his hair and dark complected. He was last seen wearing a black coat and black pants. Okay, 10-4, 86 point advising K9.
738 Charlie James.
88 Charlie James.
Medical district.
Yep, that is 09027.
Battery victim. That guy was beat up by somebody. Roosevelt Red Line.
7329.
Can you hold me down at the red line and 35th for the Sox game, please?
Here you go.
73864. 73864.
786.
We got a description of that offender, the battery as a local.
Yep, it's a male black, 30 to 35 years of age, with black twists in his hair and dark complected. He was last seen wearing a black coat and black pants.
738 Charlie James.
88 Charlie James.
Medical district.
Yep, that is 09027.
73864.
786 boy.
Yeah, K9 unit old news said that that offender possibly was on the blue line, like the blue line train to the red line.
Okay, 10-4, 86 boy. K9 said they had the offender from red light at Roosevelt Manor is going down to the blue line. 7329.
Hold me down at the red line and 35th for the Sox game, please.
Alright, 10-4, today's event 05072. 05072. Helicopter base, Cityway 1.
Unit 19 Cityway coming in as a person with a down with details of Pablo Campbell and Lawrence, both male Hispanic, about 5'8" beard, blue glasses, blue outfit, blue backpack, pulled up gun.
They're picking the guy up in the ambulance.
And add to the plane that was named was affiliated with. Again, details of Pablo Campbell.
Helicopter base, Cityway 1.
383 Frank.
Shipment, just a second, Frank. Any helicopter units on Cityway 1 that can assist with a foot pursuit? Alright, 83 Frank, go ahead.
Bus number 1231 from 59th of St. Lawrence, going westbound.
Alright, that works. 09057.
The guy was beat up there. Roosevelt Red Line. There you go. CTA is unsafe.
Jackson Red Line.
Yes, that is 09065.
SubX.News. You just seen it. We starting our show out with somebody being beat up on the CTA. See that there? There you go, man. He's getting put into the ambulance right there, right? There you go. Battery victim. Guy was just beat up on the red line. That's how it is, man. What is it? Afternoon? We already got the violence happening on the CTA, right? There you go. Ambulance 28. we go, alright? SubX.News on the spot reporting. Battery victim, right? Ambulance 28. Guy was beat up. He's just beat up, right? And you got the mayor making fake lawsuits to appoint cronies, right? To the CHA. Now you get it why I said what I said? Yeah, that's what we got. That's what we have. That's the kind of government we have.
Campbell in Washington and Campbell. There's a male Hispanic 5'8", beard, blue glasses, blue outfit, blue backpack. Just pulled a gun on his hip under his shirt and asked him which gang he was with. The offender's on foot, getting last known location. I have nothing further on
There you go. That's how we start our afternoon.
A couple tickets of a battery in progress. 1004 West 18th Street or 18th and Morgan at the shoe repair. The caller is fighting with a person in the shop. They were asking people outside to call 911. They can't see what's going on. I have nothing further on that one. 12th District, Zone 3.
SubX.News on the spot reporting. You were here. There's a battery. That guy was beat up on the red line. That's what you got. Beat up on the red line. Battery victim going into ambulance 28, truck number 1.
John Campbell in Washington and Campbell. There's a male Hispanic 5'8", beard, blue glasses, blue outfit, blue backpack. Just pulled a gun on his hip under his shirt.
On scene, Roosevelt red line.
Him which gang he was with. Defenders on foot, getting last known location. I have nothing further on that one. Also for the units in 12th wagon, a couple tickets of a battery in progress. 1004 18th Street or 18th and Morgan at the shoe repair. The callers fighting with the person in the shop. They were asking people outside to call 911. They can't see what's going on. I have nothing further on that one. 12th District, Zone 3. 738 Graham.
During rush hour, about 4:40 p.m. April 7, 2026.
And relocating this victim. 738 Graham. 3 Adam. My number 95. 09130. Adam. 7386 Adam. Squad, if they and relocating this victim. Julian.
He might not even fill out a police report because he's scared, that guy. That's what happens. That's how crime goes down, right? These people are driving faster.
Hey, we're up.
The reality of the city streets, right there. First thing we do is get to somebody being beat up on the train during rush hour. That's the first case we have. Public safety. And you got the mayor arguing that he wants to appoint his crony, the king, right? Mr. Anti-King, right?
Yep, that is 09158.
What do I gotta go? They beeping their horns or what? Oh, let's get going, right? They're beeping their horns on me. We're gonna get going. Right?
387, George Eddie, David and Eddie. 787, David and Eddie.
Alrighty, we're gonna go to another crime scene or something. Citizen, take it easy.
Okay, that is 09155.
36 Charlie.
86 Sheriff.
Number please for Sergeant Lake.
Yep, that is 09158. 83 David. I'm sorry, 83 David, go right ahead.
There you go. You seen it. I ain't making this stuff up. I ain't making nothing up. What you see is what you get.
Alright, 73886 Adam.
83 David.
I'm sorry, was that 82? 73886 Adam. I'm sorry, 83 David, go right ahead.
Good number 55 in the red line.
Yep, that is 0.
Battery, Roosevelt Red Line during rush hour.
Alright, 73886 Adam. 73886 Adam. Adam and Boyd. 788 Adam and Boyd. The number Blue Line and Cassie. Yep, that is 09188.
That's the way it goes, man. You're not safe anywhere, man. Alright, we're gonna go back in. We're gonna go back into the city, okay?
Chicago, right?
Adam and Boyd.
Yep, 09189.
Now you understand why I use certain language certain times? That's why. Because we got the mayor arguing that he has a right to appoint a crony. A crony while he's on TV saying anti-king. You got that? He's the criminal. Brandon's the criminal, and I'm going to say this why I'm not too happy today. No one's doing nothing about it. And I'm going to say this to everybody watching it. You're all sitting back watching this shit as it happens to you. I'm going to say this. I know how to protect my family. I know how to protect myself. I know how to protect my neighborhood. I have. You can look me up. Look up looting. Look up Floyd riot looting, John Kugler. Google that stuff. See what I did to protect my neighborhood from looters. You can look it up. Look it up. Put it in the internet. Check my name. McKinley Park, John Kugler, looters. Go look at what I did to stop looters from my neighborhood, okay? You can check it. Yeah, I don't let people ruin my shit. You know, I take care of where I live. And I love my city. That's why I'm doing this. And everybody's sitting back watching the fucking TV, watching this prick that's our mayor fucking us up. See, I know who he is because I used to work with that guy. He's a bum. He's a thief. He's got a bunch of criminals behind him stealing. They're connected. I'm telling you, they're connected to the developers. They're connected to Sterling Bay. Look it up. I've written about this 10 years ago. It's not nothing new. They're stealing land from blacks, Mexicans, poor whites, anybody they steal the land from, that's what they're doing. That's why they allow crime. The crime is to push people out. The drugs is to push people out. Go look at all the videos that I make. There's two types of drug addicts in Chicago. Two. Older black men and women and whites. The whites are bringing the meth in. The whites are bringing that trank in. The whites are doing that. They bring them into these dope camps, and then they start distributing it. The Mondos, the migrants, are the runners. They need to make money. They can't work legally, right? They're criminals, some of them, so they run the drugs in these drug camps. They do this Tulsa. It's called Tusla. It's been written about almost 2 years now. They make this cheap drug. They mix heroin, they mix meth, they mix baby powder, whatever it is. They mix it up. They sell hits for under $5. And it hooks people. It addicts them. And they go around to these tent camps and they keep people addicted. They work with Catholic charities. They work with NGOs. They work with NGOs to put people in tents. So they stay in the tents. They get their EBD cards. They get their EBD accounts. And they strip them of their money every month. That's what they do. Here, I'll tell you this. I've talked to guys almost 3 years ago already about this topic. And I talked to a few guys, and I even have a witness who I talked. We interviewed a guy. Me and another documentary maker. We interviewed a guy. It's on tape, I think. It might be on tape, this interview. It might. And I said, why are you out here, man? You're an old guy, an old black guy. You're smart. You know how you're good looking. You're smart. He had all his teeth. He looked healthy, all of that stuff. And he goes, I like getting high. That's what he said. He goes, I like getting high. I said, okay, all right, whatever. So the next question was, why don't you get yourself an apartment and get high in your apartment? Right? Logical, right? Beer, getting high, getting drunk, whatever you want to do. You like girls, you like boys. I don't know what you like, right? You know what the guy said? He said, I got an apartment. I rent it out. One more time. He said, I got an apartment. I rent it out. I think he said he had an apartment by Logan Square. So he gets Section 8. Section 8 pays for his apartment. He don't get Section 8 money. The Section 8 goes straight to the landlord, right? Whatever it is, $1,000 or $2,000. He goes, man, I double my rent. I said, what? Because I get double the rent. Cash. So think about this. If he's got a $2,000 Section 8 apartment in Logan Square, which is hot, he gets $4,000 double, plus he gets his welfare check. He might be making more money than me and you living on the street. His name was Gary, by the way. I got that on tape. He says, I rent out my apartment. Think about it. Rogers Park, Uptown, Logan Square, Hermosa, Bucktown, Wicker Park, Cabrini Green, Elba Homes. Think about all those places. They're what? Gentrifying. Think about all the people who used to live there. Mostly blacks, some Hispanics, some poor whites. If you know how to trick them and con them, or you get them on these drugs, what do? Hell, if I get an apartment for $2,000 a month, and I got these liberals that want to live in this quote hot neighborhood, I tell him give me $3,000. He'll even break even if he gets to $2,000 cash. And then guess what? He can call up Catholic charities, say he needs a tent to sleep underneath the bridge, and that's what they do. Multiple people have told me this. It's a scam. And what is it? Is it his fault? Is it Gary's fault? Maybe. He's part of it. But he's being used by the system that doesn't check who's living in his apartment. The system doesn't check him if he's on drugs and get him into a treatment center. And last of all, and this is the big one, it's what I've been talking about the last day or two. The NGOs. The NGOs are the ones that are making the money. It's like those guys, the Learning Center up in the Somalis. Remember the Somalis? The same thing's happening in Chicago. Same thing. These NGOs are making millions, if not billions of dollars in Chicago, saying they treat people when they don't. I showed you the lady. I'm going to repeat it. She walked past the drug addicts sitting on her building. It's 5 o'clock. We're going to listen to the news. It's 5 o'clock. We're going to listen to the news, okay?
On the southbound side from 53rd to 57th, a stall in the left lane there.
5 o'clock. Downtown's empty. 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock. It's empty. There ain't nobody here. You're going to say, oh, John, I see people walking there. That ain't people, man. There's no cars. There's no cars on both blocks. Both blocks, there's no cars. Both blocks.
On the shoulder. Your next report's at 5:08. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
All right, Neil, thank you. Tonight, increasing clouds, maybe a shower in spots, a low of 33 early, then temperatures on the rise. That's the good news. Tomorrow, a noticeably warmer day. Clouds and sunshine with a high of 68. Thursday, could get a morning shower, high around 66, 50s lakefront. Right now, 37 chilly degrees at 4:59.
Featuring the news that matters and breaking news at any time. This is Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Coming up in the next half hour on News Radio WBBM, President Trump considers a request now to move his Iran deadline by 2 weeks as diplomatic negotiations continue with Iran. More ahead from CBS News. We're hearing from Chicago Mayor Johnson and the ongoing dispute about who should lead the Chicago Housing Authority.
This is Eddie Dane, an Illinois-based farm equipment.
You need to listen to that story. That's the corruption. That's the ultimate corruption. He wants to control it. Why? Because they want to privatize that land, and the old folks don't want to do it because they know CHA is supposed to be our property for our people, for us. They don't want it. They want to privatize it. That's the fight right now. That's the privatization fight.
For original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump says a whole civilization will die tonight ahead of his deadline for Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz. Now a request has been made by Iran through Pakistan. CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
Shehbaz Sharif, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, on X, posting that diplomatic efforts for peaceful settlement of the ongoing war in the Middle East are progressing steadily, strongly, and powerfully with the potential to lead to substantive results in the near future. So he's asking that for diplomacy to run its course, there be a 2-week ceasefire for the president to put that in place.
On the Hill, Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska says everyone involved must de-escalate the saber rattling. Democratic Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi says if the cabinet is not willing to invoke the 25th Amendment and restore sanity, Republicans must reconvene Congress to end the war. GOP Congressman Nathaniel Moran of Texas says he does not support the destruction of a whole civilization. Not only are the pictures of the far side of the moon a sight to see, but Artemis II lunar science lead Kelsey Young says of the descriptions of colors besides black and white and shades of gray on the moon.
Right away, they started describing the green around Aristarchus Plateau and different brown hues. And these colors really help tell us nuances about the chemistry of lunar material.
In 1 hour, polls close in Georgia's congressional runoff to fill the seat vacated by Marjorie Taylor Greene. Republican Clay Fuller and Democrat Sean Harris are squaring off. This voter on what she's looking for in a candidate.
Somebody who's rational. That's number one for me. Rational, and then really able to articulate their beliefs and listen to the people of our community.
The London Music Festival Kanye West was due to headline has been canceled.
After a rising tide of anger and anguish over Kanye West's invitation to headline a music festival here, British immigration authorities have rejected his visa application, and the festival itself has been canceled just as tickets were going on sale. Faith leaders and politicians were unconvinced by West's apology for past anti-Semitic and pro-Nazi remarks. It would have been the rapper now known as Ye's first UK appearance in more than a decade. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
The Michigan men's basketball team has returned to campus as NCAA champions, beating UConn. Dozens of fans greeted them, including this woman.
It was absolutely amazing. We've been waiting for this, cheering them on over all the years. You know, we've been around a long time, so actually seeing them win and bring it home was just the best feeling ever.
Ford recalls more than 400,000 trucks and SUVs because of a windshield wiper problem. This is CBS News.
Now listen to the report from Chicago, what Brandon Johnson says about Walter Burnett. He wants to appoint a crony, and has a grassroots fake AstroTurf organization filing a lawsuit to appoint a crony. It's coming up. I'm not making this up.
It's 5:03, Tuesday, the 7th day of April. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lisa Fielding. We have partly sunny skies, 37 degrees. Chilly tonight with lows in the 30s, but rising temperatures setting up for a nice day tomorrow. The AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up at 5:15.
But first at 5, we're learning more about the latest back and forth at Chicago City Hall over who should lead the city's housing authority. WBBM's Terry Keshner has an update.
The Chicago Housing Authority Board recently voted to confirm Keith Pettigrew as its new CEO. But Mayor Brandon Johnson had been pushing for Walter Burnett, a retired city alderman. Johnson also fired Matthew Brewer, the operational chairman of the CHA board, and a group of community activists plan to sue the CHA over the appointment process. Mayor Johnson says the CHA has not been forthcoming.
We have to have a government that is open and transparent. This process wasn't. So, it's well within the rights of advocates who believe in public housing, as I do, that when entities act, with unilateral behavior or actions that dismiss an open, transparent process, we should have mechanisms in place that hold people accountable.
If the mayor wanted to fire Pettigrew as head of the CHA, that would require a supermajority on the CHA board or more allies of the mayor, and that dynamic does not appear to exist for now. Terry Keshner, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Chicago police asking the public's help as they search for 4 people wanted in connection with a homicide on the northwest side. It happened last month near Belmont and Milwaukee. It happened on March 24th. Investigators say a man was found unresponsive on the ground. He had a bunch of head injuries. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition where he later died. Anyone with information is urged to call police. Meantime, police warning gym goers about a string of car thefts, including one last night.
A community alert says the suspects are targeting cars while their owners are inside of an Irving Park gym, believed to be LA Fitness at 3443 West Addison. At least 6 incidents have been reported since March 24th, all between the hours of 6 and 10 p.m. Chicago police say the thieves break vehicles' side windows, take off with money, electronics, and other property. Anyone with information is being asked to contact Area 5 detectives. Andy Dang, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
5:05 now. Researchers say Bears Hall of Famer Steve Mongo McMichael did have CTE. This is a year after his death, after a nearly 5-year battle with ALS.
The announcement was made by the Concussion and CTE Foundation, which says the diagnosis of severe CTE was made by researchers at Boston University. CTE, or chronic traumatic encephalopathy, is a progressive degenerative brain disease caused by repeated head impacts, only definitively diagnosed after death. McMichael's widow Misty released a statement saying, by sharing Steve's diagnosis, we want to raise awareness of the clear connection between CTE and ALS. Dr. Ann McKee, the director of the Boston University CTE Center, said there is strong evidence linking repetitive brain trauma and ALS. Steve McMichael revealed he was diagnosed with ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, in 2021. He died in April of 2025. He had followed the research and wanted his brain studied. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Families can now sign up for Chicago Public Schools' free preschool programs for next year.
CPS is offering the free programs through a partnership with the Chicago Department of Family and Support Services. Applications are being accepted for the 2026-2027 preschool programs, which CPS says give families access to high-quality programs for 4-year-olds and a limited number of half-day programs for 3-year-olds. Applications are accepted on a rolling basis, but the district encourages families to apply within the first 3 weeks for the widest selection of options. Carolina Garibay, News Radio 105.9 WBBS.
5:08 now. Traffic and weather together.
So, crony appointments. You just seen a battery on the red line. And what's the first thing the C2 says? The Chicago Teachers Union, which controls CPS now. It controls CPS and controls City Hall. We don't have preschool for you. Imagine a school district that gets $10 billion a year. They work 10 months, and that means they have $1 billion. Imagine a school district that has $1 billion a month. $1 billion a month. Every month, Chicago Public Schools gets $1 billion a month just to run the schools, and they tell you they don't have enough spots for the preschoolers in Chicago. Imagine not. All right, so forget the imagine. Now you know where the corruption is. Now you know where it comes from, right? I just said, right? They want to appoint what? Burnett to give away all the CHA land. They're in the school system where they get $10 billion a year. They can't put every kid in preschool. What's that? $1 billion a month? You can't afford to put kids in preschool? What do you need? Some cookies, some milk, some little sleep time, some Einstein videos? Come on, man. Preschool ain't that tough. All you need is a person there. You can't afford to hire people? Come on, now you start to see the scam now, right? It's all a scam. They're stealing our money. All right. And then what do we got? We're over here on Ida B. Wells. And then what are you going to see here, right? Right? It's 5:10, right? It's 5:10 p.m. We're right here. This is Ida B. Wells. What is it? Tuesday, April 7th. See that there? Well, people sleeping in cardboard again, right? See that there? Sleeping in cardboard right there, man. There, man. They're sleeping in cardboard. See that there? That's cardboard. People are sleeping in there, man. See that there? What's up, brother? See the cardboard there? That's State Street. Wow, you got people sleeping in cardboard on the street. School district gets $1 billion a month. Yeah. Kind of strange, ain't it? Kind of get it. $1 billion a month. What would you do with $1 billion a month? That's every month, not a year, not 10 years. Every month, CPS gets $1 billion to run its school district. How many buildings do they have? They have 700-800 buildings, maybe 1,000 buildings and offices. You mean you can't repurpose some of those buildings and gyms into homeless areas, homeless shelters? Did I show you all the buildings they demolished under Brandon Johnson? Under Brandon Johnson, they've demolished almost 5 to 10 school buildings, or I won't say 10. I think it's about 5. They could have repurposed those buildings to homeless shelters. They didn't. They chose not to. They intentionally bulldozed Montefiore, Det, McCorkle, what's the one? Montefiore, Det, McCorkle, which other one that they bulldozed? They bulldozed another one I seen. I forget now. There was a third one. Oh, Atticus Crispus, that's under Brandon Johnson. That's 4 I know out of my head. Oh, what's the other one they bulldozed? I don't know now. They're gonna bulldoze Pederuski now. That's the one over on 24th Street over there, 25th Street, by Cermak over there. Yeah. He's bulldozing schools. Imagine the guy that says he's an organizer, right? I'm an organizer, but he bulldozed schools. Do you see the pattern here, right? These are the guys that are harming our city. You just heard him. He wants to appoint Walter Burnett, right? Homeless over here on Ida B. Wells in State Street, 5:10 p.m., April 7th, 2026. All right, let's do some radio calls, because that's enough of my talking, because if I keep talking, I'll get into trouble, right? Let's do some radio calls, and maybe we'll go chase some crimes, right? And then say that we know the crime victims. That guy, too, man. I don't get that one.
7383 Frank.
78 Frank, right?
I'm on bus number 7814, eastbound 79th and Union.
10 for it. That is 09268. 7388.
7388. Could I get a transmission, please, with Adam and Boyd? Captain Blue Line?
Yeah, 09280.
7383 Boyd.
78 Boyd.
And that number, red line 793, please.
Yep, that is 09293.
There you go, man. You got a homeless guy right there on State Street. Don't you see him right there? Right in front of a hotel. See that there? So if you're going into that hotel, that's what you see right there. You see that there? That's a hotel. That's a hotel, man. See the hotel right there? The guy lays right in front of the front door. Right there. He don't care about you. There you go, man. That's a hotel there, man. They just spent a lot of money rebuilding that hotel. Got that? And remember they gave me a ticket? I got that ticket in the mail. Remember they were yelling at me, the cops? I got that ticket in the mail. So we're going to go to court. We're going to videotape the courtroom and everything. We're going to try. We're going to see. Yeah, remember I was down here? They were arresting somebody. The guy said, you need to move. And I said, what do you mean? There's cops in front of me. He goes, you need to move now. I said, there's cops in front of me. I'm a reporter. I'm videotaping this and then I'm going to leave. He goes, you need to go now. So what are you going to do? He goes, I'm going to give you a ticket. I said, well, I'm leaving. And he gave me a ticket even while I was driving away. So we got that ticket. But you see the guy laying there, right? Oh man, something going on 95th Street. Listen up.
Yes, can I get a train ride mission from O'Hare to Harlem, please?
Okay, that is 09313.
6408 boy.
64.
Can you find me out so I can swap cars?
Yeah, 10 more right now. Alright, here is from 5410 South Indiana, 5410 South Indiana. Driver is detained from that felony vehicle.
Cook County 1305 to any unit, CCA Trans unit near 95th Street. Can I get you guys to head over to the southbound turnstiles, please? We got officers trying to detain some individuals.
Alright, 10-4, 95 in the red line on the south end, by the turnstiles, trying to detain someone. 733 Adam. 733 Adam.
You heard it, right?
733 Adam at 95 red line.
733 Adam.
Hey, need you guys to head down to the south terminal on the turnstile. Cook County's trying to detain the unit, or the individual right now. They're requesting another unit.
Cook County needs help detaining an individual, 95th Street red line on the south side terminals.
How many did they have to State and Ohio. I'm okay.
Alright, hold on. 73, you're at State, Ohio on a stop?
Yeah,
alright, 10-4, I got you down there. 10-4, 74.
And 54th in Indiana, felony vehicle, right?
As far as I know, yeah. County 1305, per the cameras, it looks like they do have one detained over there. Were you looking for anybody else? Alright, as far as I know, it's just the one when he came over. It's just the one that they were trying to get detained over there.
And 54th in Indiana, felony vehicle, right?
Yes, can I get a train ride mission from O'Hare to Harlem, please?
Okay, that is 093.
Felony vehicle pulled over, 54th in Indiana.
6 for it.
Can you find me out so I can swap cars?
Yeah, 10 more right now. Alright, here is from 5410 South Indiana, 5410 South Indiana. Driver is detained for that felony vehicle.
Cook County 1305 to any unit, CCA Trans unit near 95th Street. Can I get you guys to head over to the southbound turnstiles, please? We got
driver
officers trying to detain some individuals.
Alright, 10-4, 95 in the red line on the south end, by the turnstiles, trying to detain someone. 733 Adam. 733 Adam. 733 Adam at 95 red line.
733 Adam.
Hey, need you guys to head down to the south terminal on the turnstile. Cook County's trying to detain the unit, or the individual right now. They're requesting another unit.
7386. On our way.
Imagine it. Think about this. We have violence right now on our transportation system. It's 5:18 p.m. It's rush hour. People are going to work. People are going to school, coming from school, traveling, and we have violence on our trains. You just seen a guy beat up. Now you're hearing stuff on 95th Street. There you go. One incident would be too much. You already hear 2 incidents if there's not more.
1305, for the cameras, it looks like they do have one detained over there. Were you looking for anybody else? Alright, as far as I know, it's just the one when he came over. It's just the one that they
This is live. You're listening to live.
I got eyes on them. They got numbers here.
Okay, very good, thanks.
7383 Adam, we're good over there.
Alright, 733 Adams advising they are good. Anybody else, you can slow it down. 95 in the red line, they're good.
Disregard units from here. They have a lot of contact.
Alright, ain't getting a disregard now. Disregard 95 in the red line on the south terminal. Disregard a bunch of county units on scene.
7383.
7383.
Sorry, I'm 86 today.
You know, I was forgetting who you were.
Plywood special. See that there? They smash windows out. That's plywood special. See that plywood there?
If the air is clear, can I run a bit and see if maybe you know? Get on Ontario by state.
Yep, absolutely. Go ahead.
Frank, Mary Falls, King 4, King 9, 1 John, Boy 24771, says the Gold Ford.
Yep, it's been towed. 11 East Ontario. It was towed about 10 minutes ago. It's going to be down at Central Pound.
Which one is Central Pound? Is that Wacker or Sacramento?
Lower Wacker.
Good, I'll let her know. Thanks.
Alright, no problem. M7.
Predatory towing.
M7, good afternoon, guys.
That was what you just heard. Predatory towing. She pulled over a cop, said my car is gone, so they towed it. That's predatory towing. So we have police, we have the city towing cars. We have the mayor wanting to appoint Burnett. We have crony development through the appointments. Our transportation system has violence on it. There's only one person in charge, that's Mayor Brandon Johnson. The only reason we're dealing with this is because of him. And I'm going to say, you can say he's incompetent. Oh, he doesn't know what he's... No, he's doing this all on purpose. It's intentional. What he's doing is intentional. It is not an accident. It's not for black empowerment. It's not for minority empowerment. It's not for progressivism. It's straight. It's all it is for, right? All it is for private development. It's not for progressivism. It isn't for black nationalism. It isn't for anything like that. It isn't to help poor people out. It's for straight development and nothing else. You'll see I'm going to lay this out for you in the next few months.
Absolutely. And 7386, go ahead, sir.
Sorry, Alex. I'm going to give this young lady a ride to the pound. My mileage is 110404. Do you know the exact address of the pound? I know Lower Wacker, but what's the cross street?
Hold on. It's weird. Let me give you the... It's like 400 East Lower Wacker. Go all the way down to Lower Wacker and go as far east as you possibly can. It's right at the end there.
I'll be in charge. Thank you.
You want to go down there and talk to that lady? Why don't we go down there? We're going to go down there. I'll show you that. We'll go down there. You just heard the call, right?
That's exactly what it is. Down a level, then down one more, then go all the way east.
Right, they cross in the green, those people, right? They cross the road. Didn't you see them?
4801 North Lincoln at the Walgreens. Caller says there's a male black stealing, last name wearing black and white jacket, gray hoodie, black jeans, holding baby bag with red.
They're all scared. These people are all suburbanites. All these are suburbanites scared. They want to leave. You can look it on their faces. They're all scared people. Right? They don't want to get robbed and beat up.
09429.
2221 units of City by equivalent damage property in progress. 96AT South Halsted, 9618 South Halsted. Patients calling. Female is banging on the window with a brick. Says she's elderly, unsure why she's there. Blue, red, and white hat. Trench coat, jogging pants, nothing further.
Ain't nobody over here, though. See that there?
What's up, 54? 4754?
Ain't nobody there.
1300 West Jackson.
We're by the main train station. You see these groups of people walking together, but then you don't see nobody here. It's 523.
I have a number for Tarmac Redwood. Yep, that is 09478.
86 Davis.
786 Davis.
About that time again. Chicago and State.
Alright, that is 09482.
10-4, thanks.
Yep.
7386, ending miles 110405. I dropped her off at Wacker, Michigan.
Alright, 1714 on the clock.
73, thanks.
Alright, 10-4. 79 for Charlie, go ahead. Or is it 94 boy, maybe?
94 boy. Can I get a midnight check that Roselle, please?
I'm sorry, 94 boy, you got it. That is 09499.
73 Charlie.
73 Charlie.
That's the system for
Is the Texas Citywide, the person with the 98153 South Cottage Grove for fish and chicken? I could barely understand. Oh, the call taker could barely understand the caller saying that she's with the boyfriend, male black. He scratched her hand and has a pocket knife. The other friend's building.
Grabbing a woman with a pocket knife.
10-7.
Burnham Harbor, please.
All right. That is 09564. 09564.
Thank you.
Correct.
7383 Eddie.
783 Eddie.
Taking a number for 47 for the red line.
Yep. That is 09567.
4713.
4713.
Could you add me to the event?
Look, they don't stop. Watch the people walking. Did you see them? None of them stopped and looked. There's this guy here. He just walked in the street. This guy, he didn't even look, man. He just kept walking on the sidewalk. Look at him. He keeps walking. Don't you see him there? Did you just see him there, right? He just kept walking. Don't you see that there? I told you that. Watch people when they're on the sidewalks and streets. They're weird, man. They walk right into traffic. It's pretty wild to watch that stuff. And then they complain that we got crime and death. Yeah, you're probably part of the problem there, man. If you're walking into traffic. That guy on his phone walked right into the traffic, right? He didn't even look either way. We're going to see if there's anybody out of here today. We'll see. This is the old chocolate factory here. We're up to date on our radio calls, by the way. We're doing pretty good today. Remember, they kicked these guys out because of the casino over here, right? Everybody knows that. This is the old chocolate factory. This was a drug. This is where they said they were going to shoot me one night. Right here. Said if I kept doing the reporting on the homeless situation, they were going to shoot me. Right here at this place. I was going to do a whole documentary, right? So think about it. Think about this. We're going to sit here and think about this a little bit, right? We're going to listen to the radio maybe a little bit and think about where we're at here, right? See that crane? I like cranes. That's good. That means there's work, right? Let's just listen to the news a little bit.
Jeff Lewis live on Radio Andy. Check out my show to hear a whole lot of nothing.
NormandyRemodeling.com. Your home made better.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
The smartest way to spend your money is not to. Straight Talk offers free 5G phones for new and existing customers on Verizon's 5G network. So the refund money I don't spend on that free phone...
So think about this. You look up Bloomer Chocolate Factory, look up Chocolate Dreams, look up Salvation Army, look up anything like that. I've been out here for about 2-3 years here, this area. They used to allow drug addicts right here sleeping here. I was threatened to be shot here by somebody, a black guy. The migrants called a black guy to say he's going to shoot me right here. Happened in the winter. That's the Bally's Casino right in front of you there. Right there. That's $1 billion project right there. Billions. With a B. Not an M. These are bigs. So this is the question that has to come. Why would the mayor, this all happened during the mayor's time, right? Why would the mayor, Brandon Johnson, who's a progressive, allow drug addicts and criminals and all kinds of vagrants and scumbags to be here, right? And then all of a sudden, kick them out. Right? There's a sign there that says you can't be here no more. You want to see it? I already did it. I did multiple stories on this place. There's a sign there right here that says you can't be here. It says this is a site. It's a homeless site. That's what that says right there. What do you mean it's a homeless site? It's a viaduct, man. So the city actually creates the homeless areas, the homeless situations. They designate areas as homeless places, and that's the sign that proves it right there, right? That sign says, this site will be permanently closed. What do you mean this site? This ain't no site, it's a street. So the city uses the language to say this is a site for you, for the drug addicts and the homeless people.
In the right lane.
Right.
I-80 delays in the southwest suburbs, eastbound from the
Look it up,
River
Chocolate
Bridge to
Factory.
Richards and Kedzie to the Tri-State with a westbound
Chocolate
backup
Dreams.
from Briggs to Larkin. In northwest Indiana, no major surprises. We just have some delays in spots along 8094 on either side. From the Metro Traffic Center, your next report's at 5:38.
Let's keep moving. I gotta get
News
some
Radio
coffee. I'm
105.9
not jacked up
WBM.
Oh,
enough.
Partly sunny, 38 degrees now at 5:29.
Ashley's Spring Savings Event is happening now. Find inspiring looks at unbeatable prices with select styles starting at $4.99. Plus, save $100 for every $1,000.
And what's funny is they had some of the best graffiti here. The best graffiti in the city. The best. All up and down there. There was a graffiti artist, my buddy, Ramenstadt. Static. You've seen some of his stuff. My Higher Self. He has it all in Inglewood. Right there, he had a a beautiful graffiti piece there. Why would they paint over his mural? That's strange, ain't it? Why would they paint over a mural? Huh? Why would they do that? Kind of strange, ain't it? Ain't they for the culture?
Own the dream.
Nah, they're not. They're not for the culture. They use culture, drugs, and that crap to get you hooked, and then when they throw you out.
5:30. Good evening. I'm Lisa Fielding here on the top story.
There is no more culture. Got that?
Diplomatic negotiations.
Right there, ramen stock. I'll find it.
Before President Trump says he'll destroy Iran's, quote, civilization. After a quarter century, a Gary man charged in connection with 4 murders.
This is Andy Dane. An Illinois-based farm equipment company agrees to fork over millions of dollars in a settlement agreement.
And Artemis 2 headed back to Earth after its extraordinary lunar flyby in business.
I'm Tom Busby at Bloomberg. A final hour surge on Wall Street on hopes for talks to end the war. The Dow ending 85 points lower, but the Nasdaq up 22. The S&P ahead by 5.
38 degrees, partly sunny skies now at 5:31. The White House says President Trump is considering a request from Pakistan that he extend his Iran deadline, which is just about 90 minutes from now, for Iran to strike a ceasefire deal with the U.S. With a very short time
The
left,
drug dealer right there.
Pakistan, who's one of the key mediators in attempting to end the conflict, issued a public call to Trump urging him to allow for more negotiations. This all comes amid furious reaction from around the world, including from Rome, to Mr. Trump's threat that he would destroy Iran's entire civilization.
Pope Leo XIV says attacks on civilian infrastructure are against international law, as Democrats on Capitol Hill, including Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, are condemning the president's threat. Wisconsin Republican Representative Ron Johnson says,
I do not want to see us start blowing up civilian infrastructure.
Vice President Vance says the president is a man who recognizes leverage. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
Well, Illinois Democrats say the president should be removed from office over his threat to wipe out Iran. Several lawmakers have urged White House officials to invoke the 25th Amendment. Congressman Bill Foster called the president's comments, quote,
When they want the
nauseating.
dopers,
Congresswoman
criminals,
Jan Schakowsky said the
gangbangers,
president
and
is
killers
threatening
out,
global stability.
they remove
and
the
in a
murals.
social media post, Governor Pritzker called the president a deranged madman. Stay with us for updates as we approach the
5:33
president's
p.m.,
deadline, 7
April
p.m.
7,
Chicago
2026.
time. Well, just days before Hungarians vote in an election that could bring down Viktor Orban after 16 years in prison, the Hungarian prime minister is receiving a major endorsement.
The Trump administration has staged a strong show of support for Hungary's autocratic leader as he seeks re-election. Prime Minister Viktor Orban's become an icon of the global far right, but trails in the polls while seeking a 5th term. Vice President Vance visited Budapest today, 5 days before the vote and before a joint rally.
Let's hope he actually answers. So this is going to be very embarrassing.
Called President Trump.
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
Okay.
Vance tried again.
Hello, Mr. President. How are you?
Hi.
And with the phone held up to the mic.
I love Hungary and I love that Victor. I'll tell you, he's a fantastic man.
The Vance visit and Trump call were unusual steps, since most politicians avoid taking direct roles in other nations' political campaigns. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
And out of this world, Artemis 2 heading back to Earth after an extraordinary lunar flyby. Christian Benavidez reports on what the crew captured another mission first this afternoon.
Orion has departed the lunar sphere of influence.
Artemis 2 is once again under the gravitational pull of Earth instead of the moon. The astronauts woke up Tuesday to the song Tokyo Drifting, resting after their 7-hour lunar flyby, which captured images of the moon and a few selfies. NASA released the pictures Tuesday, providing an up-close view of craters on the far side of the moon.
Hubbard and this
The Artemis 2 astronauts also put in a call to their friends aboard the ISS today. It's the first moon ship to spaceship radio
right
link up
across from
ever.
the New Bally's
5:34,
Casino.
closer to home. After nearly a quarter century, a Gary man has been charged in connection with 4 murders.
Edward Russell Jr. is charged with 4 murders that occurred in Gary in February of 2002. There were 2 crime scenes. The body of Marianne Rencher was found at one, her home, where Russell had been staying. They had been dating. She was stabbed to death. The murder was alleged to have occurred during a domestic dispute. The bodies of 3 others, Leonard Johnson, Barbara Hall, and Curtis Hall, were discovered at another residence nearby. All 3 were also stabbed to death. Items had been stolen, including a vehicle and coins allegedly later seen in Russell's possession. Evidence against him includes a ring found in a pool of blood at the first crime scene and coins believed to have been taken from the second, allegedly seen later in Russell's possession. He's charged with 4 counts of murder. The prosecutor's office says in a statement, "We believe there could be more victims." Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Well, you may be in line for some money if you've had some repairs done by an Illinois-based farm equipment company.
Moline-based Deere & Company, which operates under the John Deere brand, has agreed to a nearly $100 million settlement over right to repair allegations. Lawsuit filed in 2022 accused the farm equipment giant of monopolizing repairs, forcing customers to have work done at authorized Deere dealerships at what the suit called super competitive prices. Those customers may now be entitled to part of a $99 million settlement fund, which covers repairs done since early 2018. The company has denied any wrongdoing, but says the settlement allows them to, quote, move forward and better serve customers. Andy Day, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Up low gas prices, another look at your roads and your weather next.
Patrick Cars brings the power of choice.
There you go, right? Where are we at? We're at 6. There'll be another minute or so of local news. So what I was just showing you, there used to be a drug camp there. They let all the murals be there while the drug addicts are there, right? And then when they want the drug addicts out, they whitewash the murals. This happened in Logan Square. I showed you that spot, right? They whitewash it. They use gangs, murals, graffiti, drugs, crime, whatever else to manipulate people's brains of freedom. And then when the guy wants to do what he wants to do, he cleans it up and throws you out. And that's it. It's over with. There's no respect. I'm going to show you the mural that was over there. It was a nice one there. It was a beautiful mural. I know the guy personally. He's good. He's a good guy. There's a guy with a face mask robbing somebody.
312-697-1119. That's 312-697-1119. 312-697-1119. Lowest gas prices from News.
What did I say? That's Hubbard and Kinsey, right? Hubbard and Des Plaines.
Get $3,500 bonus cash or 3.9 financing for 66 months on new Bronco and Bronco Sport models. See Packy Web for details. In Lake Zurich, the Murphy Express on Rand and Old Rand is gas for $4.07 a gallon. And also to Sitco on is gas for $4.
This is the artist right there. That guy. That guy right there. Look him up. You'll see the mural that was there. It was a beautiful mural. There's nothing wrong with that mural. It was nice. There wasn't graffiti. He does good stuff. He does really nice work. I know he has a place down by me by 35th Street. Here. That's his work right there. Higher Self. That's his work. That's his work right there. He did a whole series here. He does nice stuff right there. That's his work, all right there. It's really nice. Now, I don't know if that's his. He does collaborations, but that first one on the corner, that was his work. Really nice stuff. Really good stuff. Look him up. He has openings and stuff at his place, at the art studio there on 35th Street and what is that? 35th and I think that's Racine. No, that might be Morgan. No, I think that's Racine there. That the old warehouse there on the river there. Yeah, he has a shop over there. His studio's in that building over there. Really, that art building, right? It's an art building, warehouse, whatever it is. It's pretty nice. All right, this is some radio calls. Let's see what's going on. What crime is happening that we're missing? Here, this is his stuff right there. Let me show you. I better pull over before I have an accident. I can't be doing this stuff. I'm going to have a car accident. And I'm going to be in trouble because, you know, my car is in the shop. My steering blocks blew up. Did I tell you that? On my Jeep. So my Jeep, remember I had his steering problems about a month ago? Well, guess what? So they put a new steering box in when I was driving it Friday night. The steering went out while I was on the highway. It didn't go out. I could still steer, but you had no control. It's in the shop right now. The steering blocks blew up inside all the gears. This is his work. See that there? Look at that. That's the one on, I think that's on Madison there. I think that's Madison and Pulaski, that one. Right. He's got his stuff all over the city. Really nice stuff. But this one was really nice. I think this one was... I forget this one was. Really beautiful stuff. Really, he's a good guy. He's a nice guy. If you ever see him, if you ever see his work or an opening, I put it up on my page, right? There you go. That's some of his work. These are walls. See that? Really beautiful stuff. All right, this is some radio calls, right? Let's see what crime is happening, because I talk too much sometimes. All right, it's 54. We stopped at about 5:30, so why don't we go to about 5:20, see if there's any crime that happened while I was talking, right? Let's go right there. How about that? All right, not connected. Why disconnected here? There. I'm trying to listen to the radio calls here, right? Oh, it should be on.
I'm 86 today. You know, I was forgetting who you were. Alright, many hats. So we have a young lady here saying she doesn't know if her car is towed.
No, we heard that one, the towed car, right?
M7. M7, good afternoon, guys.
Marine 7.
Good afternoon. We have a number for Museum Campus and Mineral, please. Absolutely. Museum Campus 09381, 09381, and Monroe is 09383. 09383. Thanks, man. Absolutely. We'll be ready, please, David. So, man, today? 55, the red line is that number? Yep, that is 09388.
Ford Expeditions and Lincoln Navigators, and a range of F-Series Super Duty trucks from model years 20.
You got numbers for 47 of our models. Yep, that is 09857. 7387, boys. Jason Bush. Yeah, can we get a blue line, rose line platform check? Yep, that is 09396. PH1 City West. PH1, go ahead. Can you please get that number of the suspect? Yeah, 10. Southside is 09401, and then that Markham car is 09249.
So I always show you guys, this is the K2 development. These are billion-dollar projects here, right? So watch this. Again, why would they allow drug addicts and drug tents next to a development here, right? These are assholes that park this way, by the way.
It's
Watch this. I'll show you.
Underneath Lower Wacker, go all the way down to Lower Wacker and go as
We already heard that call, right?
we can. It's right at the end there. Alright, no problem.
So look at this. Again, why would they put drug tents here? These are tents. They're next to the billion-dollar developments. Why do they do that? Why did they do that? Strange, ain't it? Look at that motorbike there. That's a Mondo in here. Mondos are the electric bike guys. Right, there you go. See that there? There you go. Why did they put it here? Why would they do that, huh? Strange, isn't it? See that there? You want to see where I'm at? That's what is that? That's Halstead above me. That's Halstead right there. That's the K2 development. Look them up. K2.
Yep, it is 09429.
Why would they do that? That's a strange thing, isn't it? Well, because they want to have drugs in the proximity, right? They want criminality in the proximity, and they want to use those people to do whatever they need to do to chase out whatever last remnants of businesses are here, right? That are obstructing the developers maximizing their money, right? So if there's an empty land here, there's a parking lot here, if there's an old business owner, Isaacson's used to be there, right? The fish place right there, you know, right there? Isaacson's on Fulton Market. That's a good fish joint. Everybody knows that one? Yeah, I used to buy my fresh fish there in the mornings. Right there, there you go. There's a tent camp right there. Why is that here, right? Why is that tent camp here? Doesn't make sense, does it?
Southern Progress, Southern Unit 22, Morgan Park Academy, 40 West 1240 auto accident that came in.
Alright, that works. 14.
5:46 p.m. April 7, 2026. I'm over here by this fancy K2 apartment building development right underneath the Halstead Street Bridge. I've never figured out why they allow homeless drug addicts next to billion-dollar developments. I don't know why that would be. I know by the Bloomer Chocolate Factory they cleaned that out because the Bally said clean them out. But why would they still allow this place to be here, right? There's drug users, drug dealers, there's everything in there. It doesn't make sense. Especially when you look, and I've been watching this place for almost 3 years now. Especially when it's right next to all of these very expensive developments. This is the Fulton Market District right there. You see that there? Those are very expensive high-rise developments. But yet, you got drug dealers and drug tents and whatever else is going on in that little place there. You see that there? It's kind of strange, isn't it? Why would they allow that? You got all this new development here, but you allow drug dealers and drug users right next to you. I don't understand that. Maybe someone can tell me why they do that.
4713. Could you add me to the event at the center, please? 394 Charlie. Have a number for Sir Matt Green, please. Yep, that is 09595.
Sterling Bay.
7386 boys.
That's them.
7886 boys.
Look up Sterling Bay, Chicago Teachers Union, SubX.News, SubX.News. Look them up. That's the people. Look them up. Sterling Bay. Google it. As I always say, Google it. Google Sterling Bay, Chicago Teachers Union. See what you find. See what you find. You might find something surprising. You might find a surprising connection. There you go.
What's on here? Facial hair. That's versus on.
Google it. That's gonna be a new word. Google it.
Number please, parking late.
There we go. Let's keep moving, right?
Yep, it is 09671.
It's cold out here. I gotta roll up my windows.
Okay, that one is 09704.
It's Fulton Market District.
Open key on Citywide 1. Check your keys, please. Open key on Citywide 1. Citywide 1, check your keys, please. Check your burner's keys. Open key on Citywide 1. 7394, boy. Yes, what? That green line check is 09741. 86 Davis. 86 Davis. Chicago on the right. Getting there, man. 09755.
Keep this side with us looking for girls they want to study further.
7353. 7353. Well, let me give you a vent for the red. Yep. 09.
It's Fulton Market District, if you don't know, right? It's Fulton Market Street around here.
Okay, that one is 09772. 09772.
This is Citywide, the first one to go 76 Bishop. That's going to for call and deal wearing a face mask, but details to follow on it.
Wearing a face mask, details to follow.
That's a good statement. 738 Frank. Frank. Number 1283 south from 79 Okay, that is 09793.
823 Citywide, Western Progress, 14 Southwest, $50. Hispanic ran out of the store, and I wearing a black face mask, all black coats, and
You know, as I'm doing this, I think about how long I've been doing this. As you've seen, I don't know, I don't do it too much on Facebook. That's something I used to. Now I'm doing more on Twitter. I post all my old videos. I used to post every day's videos from the past years. And I'm thinking about how I did this for over 2 years. Every day I visited every migrant area, every migrant shelter every day for about 2 years straight. And there would be crime, drugs, sex, debauchery, boozing, doping. I don't even know what to do with all of those videos. There's so many of those videos. I mean, 2 years straight, every day, 5 days a week, I would do it. Sometimes I would hit eight different shelters. I wouldn't do the long format like I'm doing now. Oh man, there's a robot there. Should we chase him? See the robot there? So I would do short format, meaning I would do it, just videotape it and post it. Videotape, post. It wasn't, I don't know why I started doing it. I don't even know why I started doing this one. I don't know, maybe it was, I didn't want to keep posting, right? So I just said, I'll just videotape and cut it later. I don't know why I started this format where I'm just driving and listening. Because I know I didn't do the radio calls in the beginning. I didn't do that. See, this is all development. It's all Sterling Bay. They're all connected to Sterling. Let's do it right now. I'll show you. Where is it at? What did I say to punch in? Sterling Bay, Chicago Teachers Union taxes. Chicago Teachers Union, Sterling Bay.
I see wearing a maroon jacket, black cargo pants.
See this? See that there? See that? See that? See that? There's a direct connection, okay? See this? They used to protest against them. The CTU would protest against Sterling Bay, Lincoln Yards. And then if you go here, you punch in a simple number, 1901. What do you find? The union, the teachers union, who's against development, capitalists, ripping people off, blah, 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 right? The building where they're at on 1901 West Carroll, you know who used to own it? Sterling Bay owned it. When the union purchased the building for $8.5 million, you want to know how much taxes they paid between them and Sterling Bay? Look how much taxes they paid. Is a tax stamp? That's a tax stamp there. That's called the transfer tax there. You see that there? What do you see there? How much do you see? What's paid in taxes? Zero. Zero transfer tax was paid on an $8.85 million deal in 1901 West Carroll between the Teachers Union and Sterling Bay. We're in the middle of Sterling Bay's development here on Fulton Market. You start getting the connections here. Who runs the city? The Teachers Union. You see that? That's don't you see that mark there? Teachers Union. That's the stamp. Zero taxes paid on an $8 million property. There you go. Zero taxes. Real estate transfer tax. Zero. Look it up. Look up the addresses. 1901 West Carroll. Check out whose building is at 1901 West Carroll right now. Google it. See, that's the way I do my operation. I do things that you can find on your own. You don't need to listen to me. You don't need to trust me. You don't need to believe me. You can hate me if you want, but you can Google me. That's how I do it. That way, you and anyone else can make their own decisions on what's the things that they want to, fight for advocacy, right? The problem that I have, and that's why I'm a little pissed today, no one's doing shit. They're telling me I'm supposed to be calling 311 for a pothole while I'm reporting on pothole. That I'm supposed to be the guy that reports the pothole. You're out of your mind. Some weirdo with an Arabic name. Some fucking, I was just about to say it. Some fucking Haji tells me that I should call 311. Give me a break, man. You're out of your mind, man. Go do that shit in Iran where they're dropping some bombs on your ass. You got a lot of potholes there to take care of. Yeah, I just said it. There you go. Stay off my page. The terrorists come to my page every single day. Every day I have terrorists that come to my page. Whether they're liberals, whether they're, I don't know, they're Christians or they're Muslims, or they're Buddhists. I don't know who they are. They come on my page and they bother me. And they post bad stuff on my page and I don't like it. Stay away from me. Don't come around me. I don't want you to be around me. You know what I mean? Just stay away. Go do your thing. I don't care. Go live with your potholes, right? Go live with the tents there, right? I just showed you a bunch of drug tents. There used to be migrants used to stay here at M Factory here. This is a big guy here. He got a lot of money here. M Hub. Millions and millions of dollars from the city for tax increments. Right here, M Hub. And they're a social justice organization.
Inside of the store, right here. And the store manager.
Right here, M Hub. Look them up. You can Google M Hub migrants. You'll see a bunch of videos here. I was here all the time. These were nasty guys. The guys that were here and in back of me. The guys on the Ogden one. They were nasty people there. The people that worked there. Really nasty. So this is M Hub. This is a social justice innovator, incubator for food, I believe they do their food. These guys are food guys. They own all of this area here. This is all industrial converted, right? It costs a lot of money to do this stuff. They had a lot of tax increments. They had a lot of sweet deals from the government, right? I'm going to show you this. You see that? That's a big building there. It's a beautiful building. They reclaimed it, which is nice. There ain't nothing wrong with that. That's good. And when the migrants were here, I'll show you where the migrants are. The migrants are on 1844 Walnut. That's where the migrant shelter was. It's right next to it. So this place does food. That's what I think they do. They're big food people, I think. Food and other things. I think they mostly do food. Right? See this parking lot here? This is M Hub, right? So this is social justice. They have it. Social justice, entrepreneurship, helping people, blah, 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 blah. All that crap, right? See that there? Let me show you this. They do food in there. I think they do food. I think they do something with food, like help restaurants and upstarts and incubators and all that. It's really good stuff. Good things, right? Fancy stuff. They get millions and millions of dollars, right? Members, right? Do not park in the lot without parking pass. I don't know what that means, right? We're not parking. So, you see the M Hub? And you can Google my videos. I was here. So, the migrants used to stay in that building right there. 1844 Walnut. See that building right there? The migrants are in that building. You see M Hub in back of me? Social justice, right? And if you look at my videos, I came here 2 years. 2 years. I got this for 2 years. I videotaped this. The migrants used to be right there on the other side of that fence selling food out of their trunks of their cars. The kids used to run around on the street. I used to videotape the kids. They were running in and out of the street, playing basketball, ball. They're kids. They don't know no difference. They want to have fun, right? That dark fencing there wasn't there before. It was put up there by M Hub, so they didn't have to see the migrants. So this social justice place that got a bunch of millions of dollars, NGO millions of dollars, put up that thing there so they don't have to watch the migrants selling their stuff, doing whatever they're doing with their kids. But if you look at this, it's a beautiful parking lot, right? Look at this beautiful parking lot. See this beautiful parking lot? There's no reason to have those things there, M Hub. That's silly, right? How many migrants could have been in this parking lot and they let them cook? Look, there's no one in here at night. I videotaped this at night. There was no one in here because they work 9 to 5. It's an NGO that's 9 to 5. They're all 9 to 5 NGOs. They don't stay in the neighborhoods after the 5 o'clock. They go home. They do their NGO stuff between 9 and 5. Gangs, drugs, homelessness, migrants. Yeah, the problems that start after 5, that start at midnight, 1 or 2 in the morning, all those things, the NGO is shut down for that. So, in this parking lot, with that, migrants were not let to use it. In fact, the migrants were allowed to be on the street. But the NGO right here, M Hub, that got help from the city, got help to acquire all this land here. This is what, 3, 4, 5. See that? They're all white people. See that there? This is a white NGO. Have you seen any colored people yet? These are white NGO 9 to 5ers. They steal our money. These are the people who steal our money. These are the people who vote for Brandon Johnson. Right there, those people. They're the ones who vote for Brandon Johnson. Why? Because he gives them the money. He doesn't give poor blacks the money. He doesn't give drug addicts the money. He didn't help out the migrants. The migrants didn't get any of that money. The developers got the money. The food companies got the money. The special contractors got that money. That's what happened. Got it? Look it up. Look up Walnut, M-Hub. I don't know. You Google that stuff. There's a bunch of videos here. Again, I got 2 years of videos here. Again, social justice NGO that's dealing with food. The videos will show you that the migrants were on the street. Their kids were playing on the street. All I had to do was open that back gate and let the migrants be in the parking lot and be safe. They didn't have to give the migrants anything. The migrants didn't care because they were getting a welfare. Migrants were getting EBTs. The migrants didn't need none. You just needed to give them a space. The same thing what I keep saying about what? 23rd and Halsted. The shelter. All the drug addicts, the dealers, and prostitutes are where? On 23rd and Halsted. The city who runs that shelter don't put them in the back. They have a whole big back section there, underneath the highway there. They all can be there. They can smoke their dope. They can do their prostituting, whatever they want, all underneath there. Even if it rains, they got the highway there to protect them from the rain. Instead, the city puts them on the street. M-Hub, this organization here, M-Hub, purposely put up a fencing there so they didn't have to look at the migrants that were hanging out here. Look it up. Walnut, 1844. Google it, man. You can Google that stuff. Right there. I used to come down this street every day for 2 years. Right here. That's M-Hub. All the migrants used to be running on this street here with their little kids. They would be cooking, doing all kinds of stuff. And look at this. M-Hub, what I just showed you on the other side, which is an NGO, social justice NGO for food. That's their gate there. All they had to do was open that gate and the migrants could have been right here safely. They weren't. So then it starts to think, why are they a social justice NGO? What does that mean? If you're supposed to be for social justice, so shouldn't you help people?
On the platform, certified responding. Anybody for Washington and Madison, 19th North on the airport.
Washington and Madison, something's happening, right? M-Hub, 1844 Walnut migrants.
Hey, Clark, can you hold us on a trip mission, Logan Square, Blue Line?
Oh man, this don't even come up. Well, I guess you gotta put SubX.News in here, I guess, right? Let's put SubX.News, right? Maybe it'll come up.
7341, 2353.
There's some stuff here, right?
7387, David. Yours is going to be 10223, 10223.
See, that's why I gotta get all these videos.
Alright, who's coming in? 7362. 7362. Your number was 10205. Did you need another number? 1. 10-4. 7353. 7353. Yes, at Shriver and Hermitage.
And we're going to take you to another spot to look up, right? So you got this spot, right? And you guys know the Union building is over here, right? Between Sterling Bay and the Union, they made a special deal, right? They didn't pay taxes on an $8.5 million building. That's a fact. I just showed you the paper. Then you got social justice here that didn't help out the migrants, right? And then when you drive a little bit down the road to Oakley, everybody knows where Oakley at, right?
10241.
This is where the shooting was, by the United Center, right down here. Remember I took you to the shooting over here? And you come a little bit down Lake Street onto Oakley, and what used to be there at grammar school?
Ready for Eddie?
Det. D-E-T-T. That school was bulldozed by Brandon Johnson. He bulldozed that school. Not Rahm Emanuel, not Lightfoot. It was Brandon Johnson.
10250.
There's something that happened on the Washington stop. Alright, let's keep moving. That's enough of my talking. Why don't we listen to the radio or something? I wish I could put music on. That would be great. Sometimes I talk too much and I start spiraling, and that's not a good thing. I gotta keep focused. That's what I need to do.
233 and Unit Citywide. We get a person staff 5801 South Michigan, apartment 3 Sam. Cousin's friend called off Instagram saying his cousin Tiana was stabbed at the address, doesn't have any phone numbers for anyone on scene. Stand by. 233, this may be 231 shot.
You just heard it. Someone stabbed. Let's get that call, right? Just heard it, right? We're at 518 South what?
Can I get back up for the line at SubX? One 50.
I'm looking for that stabbing call, right?
240. Can I get back up for the line at SubX? 233 and Unit Citywide. We get a person stabbed 5801 South Michigan, apartment 3 Sam. Cousin's friend called off Instagram saying cousin Tiana was stabbed at the address, doesn't have any phone numbers for anyone on scene. Stand by.
5801?
233 and Unit Citywide. We get a person stabbed 5801 South Michigan, apartment 3 Sam. Cousin's friend called off Instagram saying cousin Tiana was stabbed at the address, doesn't have any phone numbers for anyone on scene. Stand by. 233. This may be 231.
Michigan, right? She said?
233 and Unit Citywide. We get a person stabbed 5801 South Michigan, apartment 3 Sam. Cousin's friend called off Instagram saying cousin Tiana was stabbed at the address, doesn't have any phone numbers for anyone on scene. Stand by.
Michigan. $50.81 South Michigan, person stabbed.
3271. 3271.
Alright, can I get an event number for distracted driving mission duty?
There.
Getting an auto accident on Lakeshore Drive, 5000 South Lakeshore Drive before 55th exit. Sonia said
This is a grammar school here.
One party's in a burgundy SUV.
Det Elementary School. This was bulldozed by Brandon Johnson. This school was bulldozed by Brandon Johnson. It's a black school. All black people went there. Bulldozed by the current mayor. You gonna see it? That's CHA buildings. See the CHA buildings boarded up? Now you know why would they want Walter Burnett?
7304 David.
I'm gonna go around the block. That's why they want Walter Burnett as the guy, because he'll sell those, right, to private developers. Right? That's for Burnett, right? These are all CHA buildings. See that there? There's 2 or 3 of them building empty here. That's why they want Walter Burnett. He's gonna sell those. Got that. It's all CHA stuff here. Scattered site housing, it's called. They did that when they were turning down the projects. Now they want these people out, right? White people here now. It's white people living here, right? They want this land because it's in a nice area, right? That's right. It's white. Those are white girls right there. Right? They weren't Hispanics or black. They were white. There you go.
Thank you.
The CHA scattered site housing here. So that's why this Walter Burnett's area. I think this is Walter Burnett's area right here. They want all these people out. This is why they want Walter Burnett in, because he's going to privatize all this stuff. Scattered site CHA housing. Maypole and Bell by the United Center. 6:15 p.m. April 7th, 2026. 6:15. Maypole and Bell. See this? This is why they want Walter Burnett in. You see these? These are scattered site housing. This is CHA stuff here, right? See that there? Look at these. Look at that. They're abandoned. They're boarded up. Why aren't there people living in there? See that there? That's why they want Walter Burnett in, because he'll privatize those, right? See that? Look at those nice places there. See them? They're nice. It's a really nice area. See that there? See that there? Look at that. That's why they want Walter Burnett in. That's why he's fighting for him. Brandon Johnson. He's a privatizer. You see that there? Look at that. Those are beautiful places. There you go. And then if you go over here, that used to be debt school right there. That was debt.
Can I get a transmission, please? Clinton Blue Red.
Right there. Brandon Johnson tore down that school. That was a black grammar school. DETT. Right there. Look it up. Oakley and Lake. Look it up. When was that bulldozed? That was a pure school from the atomic age. Nothing could tear it down except Brandon Johnson. There you go. Now you get the reason he wants Walter Burnett in?
374.
You got the idea. You know where do you know where the Union's building's at? Right over there on Carroll Street. You know who made the deal for the Union building? The Union in Sterling Bay. Who's the biggest, one of the biggest developers in Chicago? Sterling Bay. You start to get the picture here, right? This has nothing to do with progressiveness. It has nothing to do with black rights, poor people's rights, or immigrants' rights. It all has to do with money. Look it up. Brandon Johnson tore down that building there. That was a black school. He tore it down. Not Emmanuel, not Lightfoot, not Daley. Brandon Johnson tore down the black school that was closed. He didn't have to tear it down. He allowed this school to be torn down. It's right here. There, that school was a black school right there. There you go. SubX.News. Look it up. That's what this is about. It's about money. It ain't about nothing else. He's conning you and tricking everybody. And people are sitting around not doing nothing about it. That's why I kind of went off a little bit earlier today. We have to stick together, okay? If you want to stick together, I get it. That's all right with me. We're going to keep going on Lake Street a little bit here. We're going to see. I got to plug this phone in here so I don't run out of battery. Let's see what's going on over here, right? So it seems like it's getting, it's 38 degrees. It's still the same temperature. See this empty land here? Look, it's empty. This is all going to be developed. It's going to be billion-dollar projects over here. Until they got to kick the people out of here first. Beautiful land. Look at it. Look at how much land we have. You see those abandoned apartments? And they keep saying we don't have enough apartments. Yeah, I just keep showing you every day there's apartments, right? Don't I keep showing you guys that? Look, there's all kinds of land here. Why don't they build land here? Why don't they build, like, something here, right? Why don't they build something for the people here? Look at all the land that's over here. But you got bike lanes, so they're going to build something one day. And they got something over here, and let's go see what's back here. I've been in this place before. I can't go in there now. I don't have my Jeep. Busted. I told you my gearbox is broken, right? Let's see what this guy is doing over here. Man, he's got all kinds of stuff going on there. See that there? He's stripping stuff there. See that? Oh, he's jacked up. He's jacked up. That dude's jacked up.
7384 Adam. 7384 Adam. He needs that number for
all abandoned land here, right? See that guy? It was all jacked up. It's all abandoned. It's all going to be taken over. I'm going to show you this, right? Look up these addresses here. Look, that's a whole industrial plot there. See that? See that there? That's all industrial land. All of it. It's all going to be developed.
7385 Charles.
Yeah, can I get an event number for 87 red line, please?
10433.
Have a thing.
Next unit come in.
7383 Eddie.
7383 Eddie.
They got a number for 47th on the red line.
10437.
That's all empty land there.
Yeah, can I get an event number for 87 red line, please?
You think you're going to make money off of that? I don't think so.
Have a thing.
7383 Eddie.
7383 Eddie.
Have they talked about why they killed that guy, Jerry Lewis, yet? Have they told us anybody? Have they told anybody why they murdered Jerry Lewis? Jerry Lewis, the guy that was working on the project there by the UC. He was murdered in front of the police. The police watched him get murdered. That guy. That guy. Huh? They murdered the man in front of the police. Right in front of them. The police watched him get murdered.
7394 Charles.
You know, that's Walter Burnett's ward there, right? Or used to be, or his kid's ward now. The guy that now is going to be CHA head, but his kid still runs the ward. Kind of weird, right? So the guy they want to install as CHA guy has his son as the ward guy and has lots of empty land in his ward, right? And then they killed the black developer that wants to keep it for the black people, right? Kind of strange, isn't it? Yeah, start connecting those dots there. You gotta watch out. They're serious in Chicago about their money, man.
10474.
You can't mess around, man. Let's go see what this guy's doing over here. You wanna go see what this guy's doing?
73944. 73944. Wow, let me get a red line.
Yeah, a lot of talking today. It's the way it goes sometimes, right?
10476.
I'll fix up some of my cables here, so have a little patience with me here, because I'm all discombobulated right now, right? I got cables running everywhere. That's not charging there. I don't know why. Let's try this one. I'm trying to get my phones to charge here. No, they're not charging for some reason. Oh man, this one ain't working too good. I have to find another. Some of this crap you buy on the internet is junk. Yeah, my phone ain't charging. My other phone here ain't charging. I don't know if it's the cable or the charger. Oh, there it is. Now it's going. Oh man, you don't want to look at this mess that I got in my car with these cables, man. It's kind of spaghetti right now. All right, let's go see what this. So this all land, right? Everybody gets why they want Walter Burnett in. Everybody understands that. Everybody gets that, right? That's the promise to the developers. It ain't to the citizens. It has nothing to do with the citizens and the people. Got it? You want to go see what this guy's doing over here? Let's go see how this guy's doing. He's all jacked up here, man. He's all over, man. This guy's all jacked up on drugs or whatever he is. Huh? Right here, you'll see it in a second. All right, you know what? I shouldn't do it that way. Let me spin it that way. How about like I spin it that way? Want to go see what this guy's doing? So what should I do? Call 911? Call 311? What's somebody gonna tell me? What's some terrorist page gonna tell me to do? It's my responsibility to take care of this guy.
1424 units and 14 minutes citywide. Self-stopped in progress at the target 1664 West Division. 1664 West Division. There's a male white stealing detergent. He has a brown bag full of it. Black hoodie, black jeans. Nothing further. 14 districts on 3 stations.
So it's 6:26 p.m. That's Lake Street here. And you see that guy, he's all jacked up, right? There ain't nobody helping that guy. You want to see it? That guy's jacked up, man. He's on drugs. There ain't nobody helping him. He's been out here for a while, man. Look at that.
10516.
He's yelling. You can hear him. He's saying stuff. See that guy? He's jacked up. Look at how it looks here. So how long has he been out here, right? How long has he been doing this? How long has the police, social workers, or whoever's been around seen this guy doing this stuff? And when I say most of these guys are older African American guys, see that there? It's an older African American guy. And middle age, maybe my age, 50, 60, maybe. He's jacked up. He's on drugs right there. You're watching a guy all messed up on drugs that's been on here for long. He's talking to himself right now. Right there. That's what you're watching here. See that there? Should I call 911? What should I do? What should I do? What are you guys telling me I should do? You don't think no one's seen this before? Huh? 6:27, 6:28 p.m., April 7th, 2026. We're by Washtenaw Lake. This is our city. That's a black man. We have a black mayor. You hear the guy yelling? You hear that guy? That's what you're watching. This is reality. This is our city. That's what you're watching right there. That's a black guy all messed up on drugs. You good, man? You want me to call somebody for you or what? You good? You good? All right, man. I'm just checking on you, all right? What do you need? Oh, man, I don't carry money, man. I don't want to get carjacked. These YNs, man, they jack you up. You know what I'm talking about, right, brother? I just worried about you because I heard you yelling a little bit there, okay? I won't bother you no more, all right? SubX.News, I'm just checking on people, all right? You be good, all right? Be safe, my brother, okay? All right. There you go, man. See that? He lives right here. See that there? It's all messed up. See that there? There you go. Lake Street. That's Lake Street right there. There you go. He wants money. He doesn't want nothing, no help. He wants money. He doesn't want help. Did you see that, right? There you go. SubX.News. Ain't nobody doing this type of reporting anywhere in the city of Chicago. Why? Because they're either scared or they're getting the money from the people that are doing this. You kind of get it? We don't have no connections to police. We don't have no connections to the government. We don't make no money off of this stuff. We don't condone drug dealing. We don't condone gang banging. We don't condone criminal activity. We have no connections to gang bangers. We have no connections to criminals. We have nothing. Do we have contacts that are criminals? Do we know gang bangers? Do we know people who do that stuff? Absolutely. Are they connected to us? No. They're our contacts. That's it. We don't call them. They don't call us. Period. You see how this works? When you're a reporter, that's how you act. You don't have hunky-dunky deals with people. And when the person gets shot, you know their name when they get shot. Sometimes I know the guys that get shot, but usually not. I have to work on it to get the information. So the point I'm trying to say is here. We need to work together. If we don't want to see that, then we need to work together and put the pressure on the people who take care of it, like the cops. All right? The cops need to take care of that because they're the first responders. Or the fire department. Whoever is a city employee that sees that stuff. See the leaves there? See the leaves? There has been no leaves. Right, there you go, man. We're going to do a leave video, right? Now next we're going to do a leave video, right? See the leaves right there? So whose fault is that there? See that there? See the leaves? West Side Zombie. This dude's really messed up. About 6:20 p.m., April 7th, 2026.
In the first quarter, 26-13 against the Wizards. And right now, here is a special report from CBS News.
CBS News special report. An announcement by President Trump on social media came less than 2 hours before his deadline for Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz or face destruction of a whole civilization. As CBS's Weijia Zhang at the White House reports.
The president announcing that for now, the attacks are on hold and there will be more time to try to sort out a permanent deal.
Pakistan's prime minister urged Trump to extend his deadline to allow diplomacy to advance and asked Iran to open up for 2 weeks the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump says Iran has proposed a workable 10-point peace plan,
saying Iran has agreed to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz. The president says this will be a double-sided ceasefire.
At CBS's Linda Kenyon. Earlier today, airstrikes hit 2 bridges and a train station, and the U.S. hit military infrastructure on Karg Island, the key hub for Iranian oil production. CBS News special report. I'm Jennifer Kuiper.
Thanks a lot, Jennifer. And we are continuing our coverage with the Trump administration. Now we are finding out that the Trump administration has created what it is calling a robust fraud fighting squad to investigate and prosecute what it calls a crisis in this country.
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche says over $1 trillion every year is threatened by sophisticated and opportunistic fraudsters.
All over this country, we currently have over 8,000 fraud matters underway.
He says the new division will bring together experts involving healthcare, tax, benefits, and corporate fraud under one roof with one mission to protect the American people. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
And here in Chicago, housing advocates say they plan to sue the Chicago Housing Authority over its appointment of the new CEO, Keith Pettigrew. They argue the board failed to properly notify the public before voting on his hiring last month. Now, Mayor Johnson agrees. His preference for the job is former Alderman Walter Burnett. The lawsuit, expected to be filed later this week, comes after the CHA went 16 months without a permanent CEO. CHA board chair Matthew Brewer has defended the process, saying the board complied with all applicable laws. And a trip to the gym in Irving Park has been costly for several drivers in recent days.
Chicago police are investigating 6 different car break-ins between March 24th and this week, all reported in the 3400 block of West Addison. Alert says suspects have been smashing side windows and stealing items inside of cars, while victims are inside of a nearby gym. A specific gym is not listed, though there is an LA Fitness location at 3443 West Addison. Each break-in was reported between 6 and 10 p.m. Andy Day, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Shovels were put into the ground today for the new Chicago Southside Birth Center at 8301 South Shore Drive. Liz Dozer of Chicago Beyond, one of the supporters of the center, says it will offer prenatal care, birth services, postpartum care, and among other services, childbirth education.
This building that is here and what will come, it's bigger than a structure. It will be a place where families will be seen, truly seen, where care, culture, and dignity are at the very foundation and the roots of where we are standing today.
Now, the birth center is expected to open next year, and voters in Northwest Georgia are deciding who will replace former GOP Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Republican Clay Fuller has been a district attorney. He survived a 2013 cancer diagnosis.
I want to make a difference for the people here in North Georgia because I think that's the reason that God left me here, to give me additional time.
Democrat Sean Harris is a retired one-star Army general and a farmer.
All of the people here in Northwest Georgia is going to get an opportunity for their voice to be heard, and we're confident that tonight this district will flip.
Georgia's 14th congressional district is considered the most Republican-leaning in the state. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
NASA says its top priority right now is safely bringing the Artemis II crew back home as the historic mission continues around the moon. Officials say teams on the ground are working closely with the astronauts in real time to monitor every phase of the flight. Dr. Lori Glaze says flight operations and science teams are coordinating closely with the crew.
I just have to say, wow, when I look at all of those images that were scrolling by. I hope all of you are as inspired as I am. I know as they continue to be downloaded, they're just absolutely stunning, and we really hope that they are inspiring truly everyone in the world.
It's 6:35.
Honey, is our car ready for this season? We can't afford an unexpected car repair that will cost thousands of dollars, and it definitely...
Something going on the Loyola train. I'll have to get videotape. I have to get it on. Well, let me just do a quick video here, right? They don't have no units. That's a radio call. You just heard it, right? There's something going on the Loyola train, and they can't do nothing about it because they have no police.
Black, brown jacket, black pants, black boots, waving a gun on the train.
There you go.
He exited the Loyola train that was going northbound.
Loyola train. They got a gun on the train.
Is that the caller or is that the offender?
That's happening right now.
Per second.
7384 Eddie.
Check 69 red line.
Sorry, you said 69?
Person with a gun, red line Loyola.
10659.
2370 squad. We don't have any units up in that area.
407. Alright, that was on another frequency. Unit coming in. 3215, I got voicemail twice.
I'm sorry, I didn't copy.
Voicemail 2 times for your callback.
Station boy.
605. H1.
Per second, 384 Eddie. 3864.
7384 Eddie.
ETA check 69 red line.
Sorry, you said 69?
10-4.
10659.
2370 square. 7388 Charlie and David.
And we're getting a person with a gun at red line at Loyola, 1208 West on Loyola.
384 Eddie. 7388 Charlie and David.
And we're getting a person with a gun at red line at Loyola, 1208 West on Loyola. There's a male, black, brown jacket, black pants, black boots on the train waving a gun. Caller exited at Loyola train that was going northbound. And nothing further. Anyone around that area?
2370 square. We don't have any units up in that area.
4 of them, shift effective zone now.
Acceptance by that person with a gun.
I'm sorry?
That's not the person with a gun.
Yeah, the person with a gun at the red line, Loyola, 1208 West on Loyola. Male, black, brown jacket, black pants, black boots, waving a gun on the train. He exited the Loyola train that was going northbound.
Is that the caller or is that the offender?
Oh, caller exited at the Loyola train.
73864.
73864.
There you go.
10678.
We have nobody to send.
7388 Charlie and David.
88 Charles.
Blue line checking Clinton.
10682.
Just heard it, right?
David and Eddie.
7387 David. Eddie.
Let's make it a one check for Logan Square Blue Line.
10692.
There's a 24 Citywide getting a person with a gun at the Loyola Red Line stop. Said that a male, black, wearing a brown jacket, black pants, black boots was on the train waving a gun. Caller exited at the Loyola train going northbound. Unsure if the offender got off as well. No further info. No new live information.
For the units in 11 Citywide, getting a robbery in progress, South Independence and Harrison. 603 South Independence at the DC. Caller says male, black, spent money and our customer's hand still on the black jacket, gray pants. I got them further. Don't.
There's a robbery happening right by us, right down the street. Maybe we'll go over there. You guys want to go see a robbery in progress? I don't know if I want to see it.
7384 boy.
Negative, that number 47 is an arrest.
10716.
383 David.
7383 David?
Correct. Can I give you that number for 55 on the red line?
10720. And do we have anybody at Clark and Division, 1200 North on Clark? So the middle-aged male, black, wearing dark clothing is on the platform bothering people. Clark and Division. 5700 Adam.
Where's the helicopter up?
He just went back to base, PH1. Did you have something, Adam?
Don't forget, we gotta do our sunset video, right? So we got a robbery in progress right by us. Harrison and Independence. That's right here. 5 months of leaves. Never picked
All right.
up.
Do we have anybody at Clark and Division, 1200 North on Clark?
They have problems on the trains. You just heard we just started with a beating on Roosevelt Red. You got a guy with a gun on Loyola. Now you got another guy having problems on the Blue Line, and there's no cops available. There's no cops available. You're hearing it. There's no one available.
Here's maintain citywide sector progress. Walgreens 3646 North Broadway. Suspect.
Bunch of stuff happening on the CTA. No one's available to help.
And 5700 Adams looking for the helicopter.
Looking for the helicopter. What does that do? Helicopter don't fix something on the
Do we have
ground.
anybody at Clark and Division 1200 North and Clark?
Something happening at Clark and Division. They can't get nobody over there.
City Van Squad 36 in the red lane, please.
10740.
74, thank you. 7384 Eddie.
84 Edward.
Unit, that's for the 22nd Street red lane.
10747.
Sorry, one more time.
Who's that for Cermak in the red? 10747.
There you go. You just heard. You just heard all those radio calls. There's no one available.
73864.
Show us on card 5569 from Jack 1000.
10757.
All right. That's the time, 6:45 p.m., April 7th. We're on Fulton. We're going towards California. You see that there? I got a bunch of people who always make nasty comments about when I put up these leaves things. The leaves fell 5 months ago. This is a city street. This is a city street, right? The city hasn't cleaned this up. That's why we have flooding right there. That's why we have flooding. Is the city didn't do its job for 5 months. 5 months the city didn't do its job. Look, there's leaves right there. Those are leaves. It hasn't been cleaned up. All of a sudden they got street cleaning. Well, you're about 5 months late. There you go, man. Those are leaves, man. That's leaves. That's 5 months of leaves. The city didn't do its job. The aldermen here didn't do their job. The streets and sands didn't do their jobs. Water and sewers didn't do their job. All those departments, none of them did their job. None of them. But guess what? They all collected a check, didn't they? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we need some of that doji over here. We need some of that anti-corruption stuff here in Chicago. Do we get rewards when you turn into corruption? Yeah, we should. I bet you did. Corruption stops real quick. SubX.News. Corruption on the west side. There you go. There's some more leaves right there. Look at that. See how it's plugged up? Look at that. It's plugged up. It's because of the leaves, man. That's why it's plugged up. That's the time, 6:45 p.m. April 7th. Cars are crashed. You see the car crash right there? That guy's car's crashed right there. You see it? This is a city street. This is a city street. That's 5 months late. Where they say Independence and Harrison, right? We'll go over there. We'll go see that robbery, right? It's right down the street. 5 months of leaves. And everybody got a check. But no one cleaned it up. 6:45 p.m. Fulton in California. April 7th, 2026.
I give me the number for 630 in the red line, please.
10786.
We need that anti-cadet. Remember, I just reposted the video on my Twitter. There's where the hooker got killed here. Look it up. There's two. I just reposted that video. I had it on. I just popped up on my Twitter account. I was looking for something else. Here. Really sad story. A hooker got killed here. I talked to her friend. Her friend emailed me or texted me. This is a hooker over here, killed. Got her head bashed in, murdered right there, right in that empty lot there next to that church. Right there. I don't think her murder was solved. The first thing I pulled up, the police were walking through the crime scene. They were walking through it, and they were laughing about it. I pulled up, I started videotaping, and I seen them walking through. That's the first thing I said. I said, man, the cops are walking through the crime scene. That's messed up. There you go. We got something going on there, and let's move, man. Look at all the cops. You got cops and all kinds of stuff. And they were walking and going through the crime scene. And I talked to one person here, and I think I gave her my number, and then she contacted me later, and she told me this was a lady, a hooker, right? White one. It's a white hooker, I think, over here. On drugs. And they never solved that crime there. But if you're a bear, they'll find you quick on the train, won't they? You know why I repost that story about the bear, right? You know that's an important story, right? They catch the bear, but they won't catch the crook, the killers. Because the killer is a little difficult, more person to catch, and he might shoot back at you. Right? That's, what is that? Is that Garfield Park in front of us?
10815.
It's Independence, right? We gotta go down to Harrison, right? Isn't that what they said? Harrison and Independence? That's where the robbery is, right? Or attempted robbery? It's right down the street, right? This is Independence, isn't it? I think it is. Oh, what is it? Holman? Independence, the next street, right? Oh, where is it? Oh, man. It's right here, man. The cops are all around us right here, right? They're running around here. See the cops? Man, they got big-ass potholes everywhere, man. What are they gonna do? They're gonna redo the whole city all in one fell swoop this year? I don't think so. Oh man, there's a helicopter up there. What's that? It's like an army helicopter up there, man. And they're going to that robbery or something over here, right? That's where they're going to. Robbery over here, right? At Harrison and Independence. That's where we're headed to, right? Oh yeah, there's a big, something just happened out here. Something big happened out there. See that there? What the heck is going on? Something huge is happening out here. What's going on? Anybody got to hear on the radio? On another zone? They got guys going that way and guys going this way. They're going that. Yeah, it's the robbery here, right? That's what's going on. The robbery on Harrison. That's what I said, right? That's where they're heading to. And there's another cop up there, right in front of us. Which one we're gonna debate? There's cops right in front of us too. Right in the middle of Madison. We're gonna go to the robbery or we're gonna go in front of us? Which one? Which one we're going to? There's something right in front of us too. We're gonna go to this robbery and then we'll go west. There's two things happening at once here. The cops went, there's a whole bunch. I think we're gonna go over here. 5700. Is it? There's something going on up here. If not, I can just go straight down to Harrison, right?
Audi looks like it struck a unit. Eddie Frank 28776.
white Audi hit a cop car. I don't see the cops up there, so we're gonna go down to Harrison. Oh, there's something going on here. They're looking for somebody. Yeah, they're looking for somebody. They're looking for somebody. See that there?
5700.
They're looking for somebody around here.
70 straight steel Audi. Looks like it struck a unit. Eddie Frank 28776.
There's something going on out here.
You got a color in?
A white Audi hit a cop car, but I don't have the area. They're looking for somebody. Something happened out here. We're gonna go to that robbery area down on Harrison. But they're looking for somebody up here now. That's wild, huh?
7385 Adam.
At 5700 Adam, was that vehicle stopped? Because I see one detained.
So originally it was stationary. They got the driver, the passenger jumped in, and right now is when they struck one of the squads. Pulaski from Lake.
Pulaski and Lake.
From Lake.
That's what they're doing. Pulaski and Lake. They hit a squad car, right? Where the hell am I? This is Pulaski, ain't it? Yeah, that's what they're looking at. Pulaski and Lake, right? And this is where I'm at.
Yeah, come
and
in.
they got all kinds of drug addicts.
Air 6408.
6408 boys.
Yeah, right in back of me.
6408 boys,
Yeah, we attempted to stop that white Audi at 3423 West Harrison earlier. We stopped the driver, but the passenger hopped in the driver's seat and took off. Can I also get an RC for a 99?
They're looking for a white Audi. That's what they're looking for. We're right here. We're in the middle of a crime scene. Shit. My fucking phone keeps falling off the window. Yeah, they're looking for somebody right here, man. We're in the middle of a damn crime scene. That's what we're doing. I'm looking. I'll say, what's all this?
Okay, so this is from the original, from the 3425 West Harrison, right?
So the robbery, and then there was a crash into a...
What's your sir?
So it was a robbery, then they hit the squad car, right? That's what it is.
209-375, 209-375, that event, 10767, 10767.
Can you also toss in the Illinois tag?
Robbery on Harrison, and then they hit a squad on Lake and Pulaski. It's a white Audi, then the passenger got into the driver's seat and drove off.
Alright. Okay, so this is from the original, from the 3425 West Harrison, right?
That boy.
Okay, let me put you on that. And what's your sir?
1599 Adam.
John King 209-375, 209-375, that event, 107-6. Yeah. Okay, so this is from the original, from the 3425 West Harrison, right?
That boy.
Okay, let me put you on that. And what's your sir?
1599 Adam.
John King 209-375, 209-375, that event, 107-67, 107-67.
Can you also toss in the Illinois tag? Eddie Victor 49749, as well as that white Audi. It's on my name.
They're looking for it now.
Alright, that's to an Anthony Billy. That's 2018.
It's on my name.
Alright, that's to an Anthony Billy. That's 2018 Mitsubishi. Okay, so this is from the original, from the event, 10767, 10767.
Can you also toss in the Illinois tag? Eddie Victor 49749, as well as that white Audi. It's on my name.
Alright, that's to an Anthony Billy. That's 2018 Mitsubishi. Alright, I'll put it on your box.
vehicle was last seen eastbound Ferdinand from Pulaski.
It's right here.
That's for about how long ago?
That's why all the cops are around here. We're in the middle of a damn crime scene.
7-3. What unit is oh, looks like sorry, what unit was taking the arrest? From that, Harrison, 6408 boy, close the RD. 10-4, if you can relate to them that, one of these, did capture, I guess, that offender when he was exiting the vehicle. I'm pretty sure that would be helpful for them. 6408 boy, did you copy? 6408 boy, 10-4, should have taken 1 male to 11, 9 mile.
I'm gonna restart the video, okay? Because we're at 7 o'clock. I'm gonna restart the video. I'm gonna park over here and just restart it, alright?
Okay. Unit 2 coming in. 7387. I heard 7387. Number for a ride, Logan Square to Jeff Park, 3310.
Oh man, it's rough around here.
10935. Next unit. 7385 Charlie. Drone deployment under UAS. Adam, Sam, Tom, at 1108 South Spalding Place. Okay, I had a couple of units talking at once. Who was asking for the UAS? 4905, UAS, Adam, Sam, Tom.